Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Long Rest Podcast, the podcast where we talk about what? What do we talk about here?
Fuck
Mouse.
all.
Fucking
Music mostly.
Just shit.
It's a podcast where we talk about shit, music, monkeys, the video game industry, and everything that goes on inside of it. So this week has been a pretty slow week for gaming. But first off, before we get into any of the news, I want to ask you guys, what are we all drinking tonight?
Ugh, I'm high on life.
I'm drinking a delectable Japanese lager.
I'm also
Aside.
drinking a delectable Japanese lager. It's my
I
favorite.
have-
It's my favorite beer.
I've
So I have
a
got
bottle cap
berries
to
and
a-
cherries.
I have a bottle cap
Very
to
nice.
a delectable Japanese lager.
Ooh.
Oh, its influence like knows no bounds. It just it's everywhere.
I don't like lager.
I've got the captain and some dibble pickles.
Captain.
Dirty
Very nice.
Doctor.
Oh,
Well,
the Wiz Doctor.
Izzy, I don't know what it is about your webcam, but it's seriously pixelated. Is it like that for anybody else, or is it just me?
Yeah,
yeah, I've got it.
must be internet.
Oh,
I-
you look like a mosaic, like tile painting.
Oh. Was it fine earlier?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess try just turning your webcam like off and on again.
How do you
Is
do
your video
that?
connection green?
You do that.
What do you mean?
There'll be a prompt that says turn off camera on Discord. It'll be like the one to the most left on the panel.
Oh, you mean just like turn off camera, not like
Yeah.
disconnect my
No,
camera.
yeah, just like turn the camera off and on again. There we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
wait.
no,
Oh, no.
you fucked it. Fuck the job.
In
I'm
fact, you know,
so
maybe
upset.
maybe try restarting Discord, and I'll just like stop the recording and start again.
Wow,
Okay.
there's always one.
Is it fine?
Just go with the flow.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. I mean, no one watches the podcast to look at how
I'll
famous
make-
it is. Like, it's a podcast. People.
I'll make this. I'll
Yeah.
make mine pixelated.
No, don't.
Oh.
It's
Cool,
gone.
man.
It's like 7
Do
like
it.
Zimbabwe.
We'll just hope it sorts itself out, I suppose.
Cause like I don't know how to fix it.
I don't think there is a way to fix it.
You need to pray to the machine spirit.
Tell you what, the more drunk I'll get, Izzy, the less and less pixelated it'll look.
Yeah, it look like clearing. No, we'll all just look worse because you'll be drunk. And then you
How
won't be able
drunk
to
are we
tell.
planning on getting?
Well, I've
Because it
only-
doesn't take much for me.
I've only got 2 big bottles, so I mean, like, but I don't really drink that much anymore, so I'll
Mhm.
be. I mean, I'm like, I've been drinking this bottle, like just slowly sipping on it, just while I've been playing Red Dead, waiting for the podcast to start. So, I mean, and I'm not fucked or anything, but like I'm feeling it.
Off
You're
one
feeling it.
bottle.
But I mean, like,
No.
I'm not Blake, Joe. Like, I'm not sitting here like a belligerent drunk, but I'm just saying,
Like I was last week.
yeah, like you were last week.
I didn't even know you were drunk. I thought you were just
Really?
like living your best life. I really thought you were just like
Oh,
having
yeah.
such a good day.
No, 'cause at the end, Joe, you were like, you know, when somebody's like really drunk and they're like someone's really drunk and they just sat there like.
Oh right. I was slurring my words. I was
Oh,
telling
yeah,
pointless
okay, you were a little
stories.
Yeah, but that was great. That was like the spirit of this whole thing. We should all drink
Um,
more often.
No, we shouldn't.
Yes, we should.
Game
Casual
yeah.
alcoholism.
I
Are we-
sent you that thing
Are we
from
still
that show.
recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, right. Well, while we're on the topic of booze, I'll tell you a funny story. I'll regale you with. I'll tell you of a story of booze and laughs all around. Right. So, the supervisor at the court, right, for Christmas, he was like. He was like, "Oh, Sean, I've got you some cans here," and I was like, "Oh, well, I mate," and he took me out the back and he gave me these, right, Carlin. Oh, cheers, mate, and he strapped the John Smiths on.
He clearly
Why
had one of
would
the
you do
guns.
that?
It's like, what's going on there? Were you clearing your fridge out, John?
Maybe he just really didn't want it.
Like after these 3 cans of Carlin, one thing I want is a smooth, refreshing pint
Ooh.
can of John Smiths.
Have you ever drank John Smith before?
It's horrible.
It honestly made me want to be sick. You know Bob, my mate Bob.
Yeah.
That's his like pint of choice when we go out.
Oh, why? Because it's like 80p.
It is cheap as hell.
You know what I think's actually happened there, Sean? I reckon like your boss has been on the boozer, and then and then like he was like, "Oh, I really just want one more drink, and he was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll just nick one of these cans off, Sean. I'll replace it with a tinny later." And then
He
He's
won't
like-
So he
notice.
wouldn't do it,
No,
but he still
he
did.
was- He was drinking like a 16 pack of John Smith, and he's like, "Oh, this John Smith's knocked me a bit off." And he was like, "Oh, I'll just swap it for one of these."
yeah.
So he drank 15 of them and then put the last one in yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a dicky belly after the 15th one.
All right, game of the week. What's everyone been playing this week? Or
Ooh.
watching? What media have you been
Right.
consuming?
So I've obviously been continuing Yakuza 0, and I got after 40 hours of play, I'm officially halfway through the game. Thank you very
Woo.
much, everybody. Thank you very much. That's not a joke either. I've been playing Sniper Elite 4, the one set in Italy, just because I was like,
wow.
I was really, because just for no reason at all, I watched somebody play Sniper Ghost Warrior, and I was like, I really want to just snipe some people, and like, I was like, well, what's a better game? And I was gonna play the third one, but the fourth one just looked better, and it's pretty good. And also, reinstalled World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Joe, do you by any chance remember when I reviewed games for Brash Games?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Sniper Ghost Warrior was one of the games that I reviewed for them, and it was
Really?
it was one of the games that it was one of the reviews that got discredited.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Why was that?
So if you don't know this, Izzy and Sean, when I was 16 years old, I applied to write for Brash Games. It was sort of like a startup journalist site. It was like IGN or GameSpot or whatever. It wasn't that big. The site didn't really get that much traffic, so they were happy to just let like an inexperienced writer like me on.
A wee bab.
Yeah, but like I wrote some like example articles, so that, like I had an application, and so like I wrote like I think 6 or 7 different game reviews for them. I reviewed, what did I review? I reviewed The Long Dark. I reviewed Unturned. I reviewed Alan Wake, Sniper Ghost Warrior, a game called. Right, so they said that like every week they'd send me like a list of games that they had like a bunch of CD keys for games, and they sent me a list, and one of them was Amnesia, a machine for pigs, and I was like, that would be really cool. I'd love to review that. Could you please send me a key? I got a key back, so yeah, no problem. I punch it into Steam, and a game called Adventure Zeta, have you seen it? Have you seen it before?
No, you've told me about this.
Oh, have I? Yeah.
I think in like the Among Us chat. I'm sure we've had this conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, a game called Adventure Zeta, something pigs. I forget the full name of it because it really was a forgettable game. And like, I think out of spite, I played it for 20 minutes and reviewed that 20 minutes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then like a year later, like a half a year to a year later or something like that, I hadn't wrote any reviews for a while. And I found out from Jim Sterling, no less, watching a Jim Sterling video, that apparently Paul Ryan, the owner of Brash Games, my boss, discredited like mine and like 30 other writers' works deliberately, and just replaced our names with Brash Games.
Really?
I have no fucking clue. I do have one article. I'd managed to find one article, one review, sorry, and I'm pretty sure it was the Alan Wake review that I did that does still actually have my name on it. And I used that. I think I sent that in my application to IGN last week that I was telling you about.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Yeah, but it's kind of shit.
No.
Because like you've done all that work, and like you can't use that in portfolios and stuff, really, because they'll be like, yeah, why is there an identical one on Brash Games, huh? And you'd be like, I wrote it, I swear.
I don't really want to include my Brash Games experience, to be honest, because I was 16. My writing style was really rough.
To be fair, Connor, right, they'd be able to see that you've been interested in it since you're bloody 16, and that's better than anything that you could have wrote.
That's true. If only like I could get someone at IGN to actually open the email that has my name on it, then I'd be golden. But yeah,
somebody's faxed it out and like sat on it or something.
Izzy, what's your game/media of the week? So I know you don't really play that much games.
Well, a good friend of mine got me to play Shenmue for an hour. You know, I did that. Controls are janky as fuck.
Yeah.
I hate third-person
They're
perspective. I am very much a 2D top-down side-scroller kind of person rather than any sort of third-person shindig. But it was cool. It was very fun. No fucking idea what I was doing. Played some gacha machines. It was great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Steam
you s-
achievements, which makes me very happy because I love me a
Just one
Steam
more.
achievement.
Just one more gotcha.
I think I
it's-
try
it-
again.
It's weirdly satisfying when he goes.
The little,
then it goes.
yeah. No, I love that. What have I been watching? I watched the second season of The End of the Fucking World. Don't know if any
Oh,
of
yeah.
you are familiar with it, but
Oh,
it,
yeah.
I've only
First
seen the
season.
first season.
it was trash.
Really?
Really,
I like-
really bad.
I like the second season.
Oh, it just felt like they wrote it entirely retrospectively. They didn't plan to make 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And
I
they
don't-
were
I
just
don't
like,
think
oh,
it's
this
gonna
got
be,
popular, let's just slam out another kind of garbage one.
I don't
It-
want to spoil anything, but the end of the first season's pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
But it's not! Because you thought it was clear cut. And then they were like, well, actually, here's the thing.
Oh,
I don't know.
no
I very
spoilers.
I very
I
much
like
got
money.
vibes that they were just kind of like, let's appeal to edgy, like, 14, 13-year-olds who really want to be 19. And I don't know. It was what it was.
I watched I watched a German series recently called How to Sell Drugs Online Fast.
Oh, I've heard about that. It's on Netflix,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit like It's the End of the Fucking World. It's a little bit like it. Like in weird ways, I drew like a couple of parallels to my own like teenage life. Not selling drugs on the internet, obviously, but
Are you sure?
You've never told us about that one.
Selling drugs in real life.
Yeah, it's
Whole
way
different ball
easier.
game.
Tell you what, if you want a really good TV show recommendation, Joe, I'm sure you'll back me up on this. Normal People.
We've talked about this. I watched it.
Have
yeah.
we? Have we?
Yeah, because I read Conversations with Friends, the other book by the same person who wrote
Yeah, Sally
Normal
Rooney.
People. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I watched Normal People. I liked it. Yeah.
It's really good. Connor was trying to convince me to watch it for ages,
Hmm.
and I put it off because I knew it was romance. But I'm really, really glad that he persevered and got me to watch it because it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Yeah, no, I
It's-
saw like clips of it, I think on Instagram or something, because what was it, Channel 4? They like
Yeah.
advertised it, and I was like, that actually looks kind of cool. So
It
yeah,
is.
I binged it in like 2 days. It was great.
I remember
was-
Joe, you were sending me pictures of yourself on Facebook while you were watching it, just like
live
Like,
reaction.
what is
Yeah.
going on?
I was,
Dude, it
like,
got
screaming
so
at- I was
frustrating
screaming at
though.
Connell. I was like, Connell, what are
I
you
found
doing?
an Instagram account that was called Connell's Chain, and it was just like loads of
Yeah,
pictures
yeah.
of Connell's chain.
He never takes it off.
He never
I
takes it
actually-
off.
This
Joe,
is-
you bought a chain because of it, didn't you?
That's
I did.
amazing.
And
I love
think
that.
Connor have a picture of me with it on, and he was like, "Looking good."
Did you even wear it in the shower? Did you take the
I'm-
Connell approach?
Yeah.
And the bath. Do you remember Connor?
Yeah.
All right, that
Is
sounds
there a
really
picture
wrong.
of you in the bath with the chain on?
Joe's got a
Somewhere-
belt.
I've
Yeah,
rec-
it sounds a bit wrong out of context.
I've
but-
received dirtier pictures than that from Joe, trust me.
Yeah, God. Beans in the bath, man.
Beans in the bath. I'm not a
Mhm.
fan.
Joe,
Never forget.
game/media of the week.
I've had quite a busy week with regards to work, so I haven't really played anything. I'm still making my way through Okami. It's a bloody long game when you only get a few hours a night. But I'm finally on Attack on Titan season 4, and
Woo.
it's totally shifted from what I originally thought the show was.
It's so intense now.
Are you
At least
following
from
it,
what I
Izzy?
remember from the later bits.
It's crazy. Like the stakes are like ridiculously higher than they've ever been. It's really crazy.
Mm. Joe, your hair growth in a week is really impressive.
Yeah, my mum said that to me when I cut my hair. She was like,
Well,
"Oh, you
you've
should
got
shave your head."
loads up there now. Oh, Sean's gone.
Oh, I'm now Joseph, apparently.
I'm here.
Oh,
No,
yeah, Joe's there.
I know, but I'm now you in terms of like the framing on the.
Oh,
It's all right. We'll swap for a bit. I'll be you.
No, you're Izzy. Izzy's
Who am
Sean
I?
and Sean's me.
I
Hey,
love
I
Animal
need-
Crossing, guys. I absolutely just love it.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, okay. Don't call me out like
Yeah,
that.
Joe, you've always had like pretty impressive hair growth, though, haven't you?
Beard especially.
Yeah, I mean, like you were like you're the only person that I've ever met who had a beard at like 13.
Yeah, it's not normal though, is it? Like, there's
No.
something wrong there.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
but did you like take advantage of that? Did you get served in shops and stuff?
Oh, right. Oh, well, should I say this on a... Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, yeah. I think I had my first pint in a pub when I was 16, maybe.
Illegal. But
But
no,
that's not that bad because I know for a fact that like the generation before me, like our parents' generation, they got away with a lot more when they were kids because things were a lot more lax back then.
yeah. But no, Connor, you know Lewis Benno in the Among Us chat?
Yeah, I know.
He had like the most impressive, massive beard when he was, I think, like 14, and he just managed to buy booze in shops. Okay, I think it happened like once where he got away with it when they just didn't ID him, but they kind of looked at him. He looked so old, but he was just a child. It was so funny because like if you look at a picture of him then with like the full big beard, but he was just so small. I don't know how he didn't get ID'd for that.
I did actually want to ask you guys about this, so I've been debating on whether or not I think I've already invited him. I'd like to have Lewis on, as a guest on the show.
I've spoken to him about it actually this evening. He was worried that he didn't have
right.
like the right setup, and I was just like, "Doesn't fucking matter."
You don't need a setup. The one I get away with is pretty
can't
dreadful.
be any worse than what George. George, the second week of the podcast, you're on your iPhone, you had AirPods in.
Oh my god!
No, I was sat on my bedroom floor.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever Lewis brings us will be fine. Lewis, if you're watching this, you're more than welcome to come on the show next week.
Oh, I'll let him know because he hates podcasts. Well, he doesn't hate them. He says he like zones out when he listens to them, and I was like, "That's totally fair."
Though. This isn't a podcast, really, is it? This is just like
the way I described it to him. I was just like, imagine you're in a Discord call with the four of us, but we're just arseholes and we don't let you get a word in edgeways. And he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure."
That's such a horrible way, but also accurate way of describing the podcast.
Exactly. It's not wrong.
Right. Let's get into the news. The first bit of news that I have this week is the Xbox Twitter account has just been pushing out tweets about Bethesda like crazy. They confirmed that yes, Xbox and PC are going to be exclusive platforms for some games for Bethesda. There's no mention about which, but we can all agree that's probably going to be Starfield or whatever it is that like Arcane or id are up to these days.
Actually, sorry to cut you off, but isn't Arcane making Deathloop?
Yeah, they are.
Isn't that a PS5 exclusive?
So like, but this is another thing that that they've been saying is that they will
that
honor
was before the acquisition.
Yeah, they'll honor any contractual obligations that Bethesda have made. But like following the release of like all games that are currently in development, except for maybe Starfield, all of the games are going to be Xbox exclusives. So if id Software working on another Doom, then PS5 players aren't going to get it. Sean,
they're definitely gonna do another Doom.
Sean, how do you feel about that? Because you're a PlayStation gamer, and you like Doom.
What did you say? Sorry, I was reading something.
So
you were saying about Bethesda and shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's very likely that because obviously id are a subsidiary of Bethesda, and Microsoft now own id, which is a move that I never thought I'd ever actually see. How do you like? It's very likely.
Well, id Software's still going forward, pushing out the second part of the Doom Eternal DLC.
Yeah, but that's not going to be an exclusive. But another Doom game, like the next Doom game, will likely be an Xbox exclusive. I was just wondering about whether or not this changes your feelings on anything, because I know you really like Doom.
I mean, if it is an exclusive, I feel like these days you can't really get away with exclusives like that. So it'll probably come to PC after 6 months. Or
it'll be on PC.
It will be on PC.
Just console.
Well, I don't care about consoles really.
Oh right, okay. I guess that kind of just throws my throws under the bus.
I have a PS5 and like.
I've got a PS5.
I didn't know that you had
No, not
one.
PS5. Sorry, fuck PS4. I've got a PS4.
I was gonna say, Jesus.
I've got a PS4, right? And it works now. It works. I cleaned it. Voided my warranty, but it's clean. And I don't know. I just feel like I only really play I need to play the PS5 for the exclusives, so it's like I don't know, like
Do
I
you
don't know.
do you
I don't,
feel do you feel like
I'm not that bothered because I can play it on PC, but it still sucks.
do you feel like if enough Bethesda games come out on Xbox Series X that you'll be forced to get one of those over a PS5?
I don't know, because like I don't feel like it'd really be an issue. Like if a lot of games started coming out that I really really wanted to play on Xbox, then I might buy one. But at the end of the day, like if I have enough money to buy one, I'll buy one. But if I don't, I'm not hugely arsed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna. It's like it's not the end of the world if you don't get to play God of War. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Let me toss the ball to Joe then, because Joe, you're not really a PC gamer.
Yeah.
At least not
Not
yet. At least not yet.
Until
will
he
be
gets
one
the
day.
biggest PC in the whole
Yes,
world.
until you have the biggest PC in the world, you are still currently a console gamer. But you're
True.
also a Bethesda fan.
Mm.
Would you also consider getting an Xbox Series X if enough Bethesda, like good Bethesda games came out? Like Starfield, are you looking forward to Starfield? I know obviously none of us know anything about it, but
Honestly, no, because I don't know enough about it. If it came out and it was like amazing, then I would probably be tempted. I think the one that would be more likely to swing me is actually Elder Scrolls 6, but I'm 85% sure that'll come out on both consoles.
yeah,
We had that conversation last week, didn't we? It would just be
Mhm.
fucking
Mhm.
mental if they
The,
did
the,
that.
the thing is though, because was Starfield community backed, or am I thinking of something else? Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Star Citizen, Anna.
yeah. Star Citizen, but Star Citizen is also kind of a
What's going on
scam.
with that?
Yeah, no, I don't really know. You spend like
Relevant for 20 years.
Yeah, you spend like $2,000 and you get like a spaceship, and I've seen gameplay of it, and apparently it's like one of the hardest games in the world that you could possibly like try and run, just because of how like
Really?
horribly optimized it is.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
like it's like No Man's Sky but without any optimization whatsoever.
Jesus.
Is it out? Is it out in early access?
No, it's
I
been
don't
out in
think
early
so.
access for years now. You've
Oh,
you had to pay
yeah,
quite
yeah.
a lot to get access to like the public, not public,
Um,
like the
uh,
private
uh,
alpha.
How much are you talking? Do you have any idea?
Like $60 plus.
That's
Usually
a
it's
lot.
just like a one-time donation or like their itch account or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, like, they really sold Star Citizen as being like one of the most like ambitious games ever,
It is.
which almost definitely means it's going to fail.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, negative about it, but
I'm looking at the game's website now. I'm going to see how much it actually costs. So the starter pack's $45 and you get a Star Citizen digital download and 3 months of insurance with it. Whatever that means.
what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what does the
It's probably
how does that
insurance on
work?
your ships.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. It probably is insurance on your ships.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. So,
In-game chips.
yeah, so if your ship it looks like a pretty shitty ship too. Like it looks really tiny. It looks like a cruiser. The pledge store. What's this?
It's multiplayer or it's single
Oh yeah,
player.
it's an MMO.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that game for like a while now.
No, neither have I. But I suppose it's just one of those games where the development's like just so slow to the point where people don't talk about it over time.
They're waiting for people to buy more insurance and they can afford to go on to the next step.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I watched like when I got my graphics card like over a year and a half ago now. I'm pretty sure I did watch a Star Citizen video because I was like, yeah, I'm like wondering if I can run this. Because I'd heard about it before and I'd heard that the performance was like really terrible on quite a lot of cards. So I was thinking about stress testing my GPU and I was going to start with Star Citizen, but eventually I decided that I'll just wait because I saw that even on like really like decent cards, the game chugs and stutters like a bitch.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
No, it's not worth it at all. But I mean, who knows? Maybe the game's in a much better shape than it is today than it was a year and a half ago. I mean, I'd hope so after a year and a
I'd
half.
really hope so.
But with the fact that the game's taken this long to get to where just to get to where it is now, which is still not in a finished state, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that the game was like still in a terrible way. But earlier on we were talking about Doom, and PlayStation players maybe not getting it. Doom 3 is getting a VR re-release.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
meant to talk about this last week actually,
Sounds
but I
like-
forgot because I was late.
Sounds
Doom
like what,
3,
Mhm.
like 2010 Doom 3.
No,
it
no,
was
earlier than that.
Yeah, it was original Xbox days.
Yeah, I do remember it, but like,
Yeah, it was.
We're talking like the first like full 3D.
yeah,
Doom.
yeah. I said 2010, and in my head I thought 2004, and it was 2004.
Yeah,
It's that one.
It took the series in a totally different direction. And personally,
Yeah.
I'm really sad that they didn't continue going down that route. At least for like
It wasn't very well liked though, was it? At
It's
least
the
by
most
hardcore.
critically panned Doom game.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that was because people were mainly like, you know, the first two games you just think of like like, you know, yeah, you get it, like thrash metal riffs and like just a space marine like killing demons all over the place, and like that's what you get in the 2016 Doom and Doom Eternal. But Doom 3 tried to take a much more atmospheric approach, and really the
It's more
game,
survival horror, wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's the right franchise for it, really.
Do you
Yeah,
not?
what console?
No.
Sorry, what console is it coming out on for VR?
PS4? Is it PS4?
Yeah, PS4 is getting a VR, but I think it's going to be more for PC than anything.
Yeah.
I do,
it's on PC as well.
I do see like how her like a demon survival horror game could be very cool, but I mean, it's Doom. You know what I mean? It's always been very fast. Like that's been its thing. Fast survival.
Well, no, but
first person shooter gameplay.
Here's the thing though, that was the case for the first two Doom games, but they were both on they were both on like id Tech 1 engine. Like then they released Quake, and like Quake, like I think, like I'm just like making this up off the top of my head. Like this is in no way exactly what John Carmack was thinking at the time, but I'm thinking that John Carmack was like, right, yeah, we like the part of our fan base that likes the gameplay of Doom have Quake. Quake's a really successful franchise. People love the gameplay of Quake. It's just like it was in Doom, but better. Maybe we can take Doom in a different direction now that Quake, like we can take Doom in a different direction, satisfy a different target audience, while Quake satisfies the Doom fans. I think that was like what they were thinking at the time. Plus also, John, like the engine for Doom 3 is fucking incredible considering it was like on the original Xbox.
Also,
wasn't it one of the first games of its kind to do like lighting?
It was like dynamic real-time lighting. Yeah,
it pioneered some new techniques or something.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what those techniques are off the top of my head, but I know that it was like I mean, John Carmack is like he's just known for just revolutionizing game tech.
Yeah. Sorry, Izzy. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, speaking of VR, I believe it has been confirmed now that for PS5 there's going to be new VR, and the big
VR
thing,
2.0.
it's going to have one cable. I feel like the regular person will not care as much as I do, but working in a secondhand game store where I have to test VR, don't know if you know how many fucking cables there are to set up a PSVR, but there's a lot of them. They'll get tangled. They've got little stickers with the numbers on them, but that doesn't make a difference. That doesn't change how you set it up. It's a nightmare. Somebody will hand you this like fucking tumbleweed of cables and be like, yeah, can you do that in 10 minutes, please? It's like, no, sir, it will be 3 hours. So the fact that there is one cable makes my heart so happy. And that is all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
The Oculus Quests, the Oculus Quest 2, which is like the most recent Oculus brand product. It's the most recent. It's the most cheapest, and it works on PC. Like it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like the best way to get into VR, and that like if you want to use the cable with that, because it's wireless like usually, but if you want to use it with your PC, it's one cable.
Yeah, no, my friend Jake, he's got that, and we had like a VR night, and it was so intense. Like everybody was just like crammed into a living room playing Beat Saber. That's the one. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a whole fucking workout.
I really like I've played Pavlov VR. My stepdad, he bought like a Quest 1, which is only like Android based. But there's Android versions of like Steam games that you can play, and I played Pavlov, and it's so fucking good. It's so immersive. Like I never thought that like I'd actually get to, because someone ported like maps from Counter-Strike like 1-to-1
Yeah.
replicas of the Counter-Strike maps. Like, they weren't recreations. They were literally just like drag and drops. And like I was walking around, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome! I'm in Overpass. This is great." I mean, like the
There's another game like that does the same thing with TF2.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, you have all the TF2 weapons and everything.
What's it
I
called?
can't remember what it's called. It might be Pavlov. I'm not sure.
Well, there's
Whatever.
there's Pavlov and there's Onward. Those are the two like big VR FPS games I can think of.
Didn't you play a bit of VR with our friend Ben Dolan? Didn't you play
No, it's
some
not Pavlov.
VR with him?
Yeah. I went around his house.
What
I
games did you play there?
played Pavlov at his house as well.
Oh, right.
But I also played this other game with him. It was like a co-op game, and like one person sits at a computer like without VR, and the other person's got the VR headset on, and the person sitting at the computer is like it's like a third person perspective, and you're running around, and you've got like a rocket on your back, and you have to fire at this like big head. It's like like a big head and these two big hands, and like that's obviously the guy in VR. The guy in VR has to like crush. It's like playing whack-a-mole, except like the ball is. It's like the
ball is the
yeah,
person at the
yeah,
computer,
yeah.
and you're
It's-
running around.
I forgot I think it's called. What is it called? It's like a David versus Goliath type thing, but in VR. It was super fun.
That sounds awesome.
Ben's bedroom was really tiny though, so I kept on walking into shit, and like I almost punched him a couple times. It was fun. Yeah, I'm definitely waiting until I move out before I get a VR headset.
Mm.
While the idea of exclusives is still fresh in our minds, right?
Mhm.
I have a bit of news. For the first time ever, Crash Bandicoot 4 will be coming to PC
Is that
on
about time?
March. Yeah, March 24th.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty
That's pretty
cool.
soon.
Yeah. Yeah, 11 whole
Always-
days.
Always been a Sony exclusive,
It's interesting.
but
I think
I'm not sure if Naughty Dog made 4. I think Visceral Games did.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Visceral Games, people would do a bunch of remasters.
Is Crash Bandicoot 4? It's about time because I'm pretty sure Naughty Dog didn't make that.
Developer Toys for Bob.
Toys for Bob.
They have made games such as
Google.
Crash Bandicoot 4, Madagascar for the GameCube.
Oh, hell yeah.
They
A
made the
classic.
Spyro trilogy thing.
Oh, that's well.
That was
Oh,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's
that was
that-
really good.
Reignited,
That's
yeah.
probably-
that was
that's
amazing.
probably like the reason why they got the license to do Crash.
They
I'm
also
willing
made
to bet.
they also made the Insane trilogy remaster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're alright then. It's in good hands.
Yeah. We can trust them.
Yeah.
Oh, they were the masterminds behind Skylanders as well.
Oh god.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't want to talk about Skylanders.
Oh, they made Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, PlayStation 2. You know
Fuck
that
off.
one really good Tony Hawk's game on the
Fuck off,
PlayStation?
Fuck off. See, it's like
Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam.
there are only like a few bad Tony Hawk's games, and that's one of them.
I love the
I think-
one that was it I think Ride, and it comes with the skateboard.
Yeah.
It was
I played
amazing.
it.
Oh, yeah.
But the cool thing
You
was
played it? Oh,
yeah,
I
no,
played
my
it at a
boyfriend
friend's
at the
house.
time, he used the skateboard to end up playing Dark Souls, which was just really fucking weird. But it was quite cool.
I respect it. Have you seen that? Oh, there's like people who like beat like some of the hardest bosses in Dark Souls with like a fucking dance pad.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
there's a
so
guy
good.
called Lobos Jr.
Yeah, he
on
plays it with electric guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's completed Dark Souls with an electric guitar.
Yeah.
I've had not even this whole bottle, and I really need a piss.
Me and Joe have been at Lobos for years, haven't we?
yeah, we have. But Izzy, I'm going to test your knowledge a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Real gamer test.
So, Izzy, you work at CES.
Yes, I do. Did I get it right?
How much do you think the Tony Hawk ride?
How much do we pay for
Like,
Tony Hawk
Ride.
Ride? I do believe it's a penny, and we sell it for 50p
How
if
much
it's
do you
game
think the Tony
only.
Hawk ride? No. Okay. How much do you think the board costs at CEX?
£12. £12?
Okay. Anyone else got any guesses?
I'm gonna guess
Anyone?
just due to the plastic, where it costs like 15.
A pound.
Okay, Sean.
A pound.
But I know that game
It's-
only is 50p.
It's £18
£18.
for the
Okay.
fucking board. Yeah. How
You
much
know
was
what's-
that release?
You know what's
Probably
mad,
like
right?
50.
Like, it's pretty crazy to think that before Guitar Hero came out, there probably weren't any plastic remake guitars in the world. Now there's thousands. Like,
Yeah.
just because of a game series, there's tons of just plastic tat.
Dude, in
Yeah.
our toilet at work, it's filled with Guitar Hero controllers because we have so many. They're just in
I've
the
got
fucking
two behind me.
toilet.
I've got one at my granddad's house.
Because they're so difficult to like put in a shelf. And
Yeah.
like they just get in the way, so they're just in our fucking toilet.
Plus
So if
the-
people want them,
they-
they were just like, yeah, hang on, let me just check out back.
They break super fucking easily as well. And like once they're
Mhm.
broken, it's like, what do you do with it? How do you get rid of a guitar like that?
Yeah, and things like that, those kinds of accessories, they're really prone to like can't fucking talk. Battery acid leakage, which renders them pretty much fucking useless.
Well, it's
God.
like, you
Like the
can't-
more I think about the more I think about like working at CX, like the worse it gets. Like
Oh
just
yeah,
like I don't
absolutely.
even like touching a controller after somebody else has used it.
Mhm.
Like imagine somebody like proper like on like a Guitar Hero thing for ages, and then you
Yeah.
come and touch it, and then you accidentally touch your face, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
like
and they
imagine
might
like, a
have,
kid
like,
just like
taken
shoving a
the
Wiimote up
pizza
their
slice
arse and
and
stuff.
massaged it into the key.
Oh no!
Like, don't get
Kids
me
are
wrong.
awful.
I
Kids are
love
awful.
my job so much. Like, genuinely, I adore my job. But it's fucking disgusting.
Like I was playing Crash today, right, and I was clamming on this controller. I was like,
yeah.
right, and I can't imagine like if somebody else did it and then was like, there you go.
But the
No,
thing
the
is,
thing is
people just
that's why
don't have any
coronavirus
shame.
has been good.
Yeah, but people don't have any shame. Like, they will, like, you might be worried that your controller's a little bit sweaty, but some people are not worried that there is like literal feces on their goods. And they'll just like slide it across the counter, be like, "How much are you giving me for that?"
the amount of
It's like,
times that
excuse me?
the amount of times that I've wanted to buy a game and the only fucking copy of it that was available was this like really shitty, horrible fucking like case that somebody's like just wiped their ass with. It's like,
Some kids been like chewing on it.
yeah, it's like how do you let a game case get into that bad condition?
Sometimes, like, you'll open a game case and there'll just be like bits of backy under the sleeve, and it's like,
Yeah,
I might
it's
have
like
to sell this to
oh,
a literal child,
It's like
so
the-
I'm gonna like fish out the backy first.
yeah, it's like the
Blah.
plastic sleeve will be all ripped and stuff, and it's like the it's almost as if like they've taken the cover out and just like spat on it and then put it back in. And it's like why can you not just leave it on the shelf? Like, do you really
Yeah.
need to sit and fuck with it? Like, it looks ugly.
It does really confuse me how they get in such bad shape.
It's like,
Because like I don't take particularly good care of my stuff, but it sits on my shelves.
yeah, like when
Like
people
I'd rather just buy it in a plastic sleeve.
like when people like scratch stickers off and stuff and like it leaves the residue. I get that happens.
Yeah,
like
it does happen
that's
all
sometimes
the
just unavoidable. But like, how do you manage to rip the game case? Like, it's inside of a sleeve.
Once we had a child come in and rip like a huge chunk of like she managed to get like a bunch of kids DVDs which are near the floor and just like rip the sleeve inside and then put them all back. And like you kind of wonder like what are the parents doing at that point? You're like just watching your child
Yeah.
grab a copy of Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City, take out the sleeve and just rip it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you just being okay with that? And I'm not going to rip up my copy of Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City because I do quite like it. Now I'm just going to put it back.
There you
on
go,
my-
kids.
Ripping up a coffee.
No, I like it too much. What have I got that I could rip up?
Has anyone
Nothing.
got a copy of Deadly Premonition 2?
Oh my god, I
The
do
rip up.
actually. Do you want to know what it tastes like?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, that's not happening again.
Oh yeah.
It's not as funny as it was before.
Maybe that's
We've
why you were
ruined
ill earlier,
that.
because you've been sucking on them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's just so
That was
delicious.
like 2 weeks ago at this point, wasn't it?
It was,
Is,
yeah.
is I'm not jinxing it, but your camera's finally fixed itself.
Oh my god, thank
But,
you.
like you said it, the tech gods are going to have noticed and they're going to come back and destroy
Oh
it.
my god.
made the
I need
machine
to take
spirit
a
angry.
break to go and piss because I will actually piss myself. I'm gonna break the seal.
Oh, that's
Is that
fine.
a
But
thing with
Yes.
you guys?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
okay. I didn't
Yeah.
want you to just think I was a freak and it was just some like southern phrase.
No,
Gonna
no,
go
no,
club
I-
the seal.
That's the thing all over the UK. Oh, okay, yeah. So, George, you remember I was telling Sean the story yesterday. Do you remember when we played Alone in the Dark at yours on the Xbox 360?
Oh,
And
God.
I took the disc out and I just ate it.
What?
Like, me and Joe got like a third of the way, like maybe a quarter of the way through the game, I should say, and it got to the point where like the game was just so like infuriatingly like bad that I took the disc out and I ate it. Like I didn't swallow it, but like I chewed on it.
That's really funny. That
Yeah.
reminds me, at work once, somebody had a 360 and it just wasn't like ejecting discs at all. And our shredder is like directly below our like test bay bit. And like I've never seen this luck in my entire fucking life. I don't know what the guys were doing to like fiddle with the eject mechanism and sort it out. But we just saw this copy. What game was it? It was really funny, but whatever. Irrelevant because I can't remember. And we just watched it like slide out straight into the open on shredder. Like we've got it on CCTV. I'd find it to hand.
Oh.
But like the customer was really understanding because we like showed them the CCTV and he just cracked up. But like, can you imagine the luck? Like it just spits this disc out and it goes straight into a shredder and it just went so funny.
God, I remember like when I was a kid, my Xbox, it didn't have the Red Ring of Death, but the power supply was like really fucked. And so I just couldn't use the Xbox. And like I think no, it might not have been the power supply. There was something wrong with my Xbox at the time. And my cousin, yeah, like my stepdad got like an Xbox 360 off my cousin, but the disc driver so the disc reader was fucked. And my stepdad's he's a pretty big guy, works out a lot, and he had these like really like big fucking like 20-kilo dumbbells, and like he had to place one of them on top of the Xbox to get it to like stop making this like horrible fucking whirring sound that it made every time I tried to read a disc.
Honestly,
really
right?
funny.
Like, I've been playing my Xbox 360 recently. We used to just put up with that noise.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even think about it anymore, but it's just sat there like, eh. Like, it sounds like me nana or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna fucking take off
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
God, this sound honestly sounded like a fucking wood chipper. So like my stepdad just put a fucking dumbbell on top of it and that sorted it out apparently. And it was such like a suboptimal solution because I was we were probably damaging my games
Oh yeah.
every time I put one in there. Like there was probably
That can't be good for the console.
no, I can't. Right, are we ready to get on to the next bit of news?
Ooh, news.
man,
I love
please.
news.
So this week, I need to come up with like a name for this
Bless
segment.
you.
I need to come up with a name for this segment because like it happens every week that we talk about this. Dynasty Warriors is now getting a live action adaptation. Thanks, Izzy. That's all the reaction we need. We can move on to the next bit of news now.
Shovelware Saturdays.
Yeah, Shovelware Saturdays. Okay, Sean. Well,
But that implies that we do the podcast on other days of the week, but we just don't.
Yeah.
No.
Or do we?
Well, if
Shovelware
it
segment.
starts making enough money, I'll quit my job. We'll just do it the whole time.
Hell yeah.
It just seems so weird to me. Just like we talked about it like fucking like pretty much every week in a row now about some video game getting an adaptation.
They just don't need it. Like, write new shit.
It's like marketing CEOs looked at The Witcher and was like, "That was successful. We should do that." And now they're just trying to find like any like gaming IP that's up for grabs and was like, "We'll make a film out of it or a TV series out of it. Fuck it. Why not?"
Yeah, I don't understand how, and especially when it's like, I don't know, live action remakes from like, just anything. Like when it was animated and then they make a live action remake, it's like I'd rather it be like an anime or something if it's obviously like appropriate for it to be that. I don't know.
Yeah, see, like here's the thing, like if it was like this was like an Eastern like a Central Asian or Eastern Asian adaptation, then like I'd be fine with it. But this is going to be like a Western release. Like it's been made by, as far as I'm aware, it's been produced by like a Western film company. How many fans of Dynasty Warriors are there in the West? Like the game somehow sells enough to warrant like making 13 different fucking sequels because it's one of those endless franchises. But like, is there seriously that much fanfare around it to warrant like spending millions of dollars on a fucking TV series / like film?
But also, there's
really.
gonna be like a lot of controversy regarding like who they cast.
Oh, yeah.
Because like if it's a fully white people cast, then obviously people are gonna rightly be a bit pissed about it. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Dynasty Warriors is like it's an Asian game, so hopefully,
It's like the history of China.
Oh yeah, you'd think that they
Yeah.
should cast like you know.
They might have like
But-
one white guy in there, but then like but then it just get criticized for having like white savior complex.
Mm.
God, The Last Samurai was such a good film, and everyone just like shits on it because it's like
Sake.
white savior complex.
Mm.
Sake!
God, here
In Yakuza 0, there's an Easter egg where you can find people in the streets being like, Sake!
Really?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Have you ever had sake before, Izzy?
Yes, I have. It's very nice.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
You
I'm
can get
surprised
nice
by
ones.
that.
Some are ass, but no, it can be really nice.
Shay got me a really nice sake set for my birthday, and I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Ooh.
I've got a Sake set over there.
Yeah.
Really?
Remember
Fucking
when we
weebs,
used
the
it?
lot
Yeah,
is.
you brought it
We
around
are
my house,
weaved.
didn't you?
Actually, when we went to go stay with Connor a couple of years ago, we shared like a hot
Yeah,
bottle of sake.
we polished that off,
Oh.
didn't we?
Oh yeah.
We
That
just passed it
sounds
round and we kept going
beautiful.
sake. And we just had a plug.
Mm.
And it went down
Sake.
quickly.
Mm. You know, the
Oh, yeah, 'cause
restaurant
you-
that I used to work at had a really nice, I think it was a yuzu sake, for like one of the dessert
Ooh.
wines. It was
Yeah.
like sweet enough, but it still had fucking hell. I really want some of that now. I want
I've
to
had
hunt it
dessert
down.
sake before. I think it was like mango flavored. It was quite a
Mm.
low percentage, but very sweet.
Yeah.
It was delicious though. Really
You know,
nice.
the yuzu one was like, mwah, chef's kiss. So
We
good.
had a really cheap one. You know the one I took to yours, Connor? The Choya sake.
I don't remember the brand name, but I do remember what it was. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Choya. That's like the cheapest sake I could find on Amazon.
it was like £12.
When it was warmed up, mate, it was fucking delicious.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's just right fermented rice wine, mate. Like that. Like it's not like it's exactly like a complex flavor, but like when you warm it up, it just fills the
Just
belly. You
hits
know what I mean?
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were really into like Sekiro at the time and stuff, and you know you can drink sake and that.
Yeah,
and it
but
was
you
just-
know me, man. I've always been I've been into Japanese stuff like since I was like a kid,
yeah, that's
like
true.
as evidenced by the fact that I'm drinking Asahi and not like any other beer. But Asahi, like without even if it wasn't Japanese, I'd still drink Asahi just because it's really nice.
Yeah.
I don't really like beer that much, but Asahi goes down really well.
If we're doing a shout out, I'm drinking Camden Hell. Shout out to
Oh.
London.
Oh,
Good
I'm drinking
beer.
water now because I ran out of cider. Shout out to my kitchen tap.
Uh,
There we go.
Well, speaking of water, they had to pour a lot of water on the Rust server building because it caught fire. Yeah,
Oh,
that was a
really-
terrible fucking segue.
Really bad
Terrible,
segue.
fucking awful.
I don't like that.
a man died and you're laughing.
But yeah, if a bunch of Rust servers, like a lot of Rust servers, have been affected. First Punch made a statement. The server that they had in the UK, one of the buildings has caught fire.
Ooh.
I don't think anybody was hurt, but lots of servers are now dead.
Like permanently, or
Yeah,
can it be
a lot of data is unrecoverable.
Oh,
And
that's
this is on the horizon of Rust's console launch as well.
Ooh.
Not sure
I forgot
how.
about that.
Yeah, not sure how this is going to affect it, but I don't know if this was like a central data server for Face Punch, or if this was or if this was literally just like server hosting like for the multiplayer servers.
Either way, any sort of like slip up in the like run up to your release is never really good because you
Yeah.
never want to be focusing on anything else but.
Yeah, this is going to be a big step backwards in any case. It's brought a lot of attention to the game, which I suppose will help drive sales, but yeah.
Yeah, and maybe like pity sales.
Mhm.
Jesus.
In news that should surprise nobody, the PS5 is the fastest selling console in US history.
It's impossible to get your hands on it though. Well,
do that on
not
purpose.
impossible.
Me.
Yeah, no, it took us like a whole group of us tried to like get together to get Mike one. It took us so many attempts and we finally did get one. So now
Oh,
I have
good.
his PS4. Yeah. But
Oh,
it took
you've
us
got
so
one?
long. Yeah, I have a PS4 now, which is really cool.
You need to get Red Dead. Have you got it yet?
I'm going to. Yeah, no, I'm going to. He left his copy at his uni
Actually-
accommodation, so I couldn't nab it. But
If you message
I'll
me
get a
your
copy.
address, I'll send you a copy. No, because I said I was going to buy a Shenmue for your birthday and I never did.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to mail me Red Dead, I'll take that.
Plus a lot.
100%.
20 quid now. It's amazing value for that price. Like,
Yeah, plus
unbelievable.
I think you've probably played it to death now, haven't you, Joe?
Red Dead.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'll buy you a new copy.
Oh right, okay. I thought
Like
it was.
Amazon Prime.
I thought
No,
you-
I'm keeping mine.
Oh, okay.
I'm never getting rid of that game.
I've still got my copy of Red Dead, even though I've got my Xbox to share.
So, I have like the case, and I've got the map up on my wall over there.
I like
What a
the
game,
map.
man.
It's very cool.
I didn't get a map on mine.
I don't think I did actually.
George, you remember me and you went into town to buy it?
God, two discs for a game in the 21st century.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
Wild.
Yeah, but have you seen the detail in Red Dead?
Yeah, I know.
2 discs for
I'm
a
just,
console,
so
2 discs for a
like-
console made in 2013.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Like,
imagine what they'll be able to
It's
do
not
with
like
2 discs this
PS4.
generation.
it's not like the PS4 is like good hardware, or even the Xbox One. Like, it is pretty shit hardware, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the PS4
PS4
constantly sounds like it's
PS4
about to
Pro is
blow
probably
up.
pretty good.
Is
Still
it?
sounds the same, unfortunately. The
I
fan
don't think the
problem.
performance wasn't like amazing.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like I said this when I was talking about Cyberpunk before. Like, a lot of people seem to think that like 2013 isn't the year that the hardware for the Xbox came out. Like, there's like research and development for a new console takes years, and so the hardware that they actually put on the Xbox One, like, will have been more like 2011, 2012.
That's so crazy to
Yeah.
me.
Like, we've been running on 9-year-old hardware up until
Yeah.
now.
Which, when you think about it, in some of the games we got, like Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, it's really impressive. They
Yeah,
could
Ghost of
squeeze
Tsushima is
that
beautiful.
much. They could squeeze that much out of like such old hardware.
It's crazy.
I mean, I've got Do you know what? I was watching a video earlier, and it was like the original Xbox 360 had like 516 megabytes of virtual RAM. Yeah, I mean, my graphics card has 8 gigabytes. Like, I could run like 6 Xbox 360s simultaneously on this thing.
Yeah, but look at like Halo Reach. It's a really impressive looking game.
Yeah,
the skyboxes
absolutely.
are amazing, and that ran on a 360.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, see, this is why I was gonna do the Frontier games video. You remember we were talking about Frontier games before? Joe?
Oh yeah.
Just because of like limitations breed creativity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just like an unspoken law of game development. If the box is really small, think outside of it.
Yeah, because like people will always want to find a way to fix the problems and make them like way cooler in the process.
Yeah, and that's why I have like a lot of appreciation for games like Oblivion. Like, Oblivion's my favorite game of all time, and I think the reason that I appreciate it so much is because I tried so many new things on just shite hardware. Like the fact that you look at a game now, even games like Red Dead, you look at games and it's like you'll go to like a bookshelf and it'll just be like a static mesh, like it'll be a static model where all of the books are in one place and they can't be moved. You look at Oblivion, every single book that's on the shelf can be picked up, moved, read. They all have individual names and weight, like they have item properties, and it's the same for every single object in the game, barring furniture. It's crazy.
Which is so cool.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
it
do
ran
think
on
that's awesome.
And it ran on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
To be fair, as a kid, I do remember like fiddling about with that chain in the jail cell and being like,
Like, look, it moves.
It's exactly my point. Like, I love old games so much. Old games that tried new things are just fucking incredible. And I feel like now, like we've talked about this before, like now that consoles are purely being sold on performance alone, rather than like what new concepts they might offer to developers. I just feel like gaming's lost like quite a lot of magic for me.
That makes sense, yeah. But I think people are still doing like little new things every now and then, like little things that make you go, "That's so fucking sick."
I feel like the actual the actual cutting edge of like games like style and shit is in the indie game. Like what do you call them? Life Sims died in like the 90s. Then they tried again with Dishonored, but then Dishonored died again. Like Dishonored 2 came out, and like not really that many people bought it, but it was like
Dishonored 2
good.
kind of just went like, eh.
It was really good. I think it was the best they've ever done in the series. But
what out of 2 games?
4 games, 4 games.
Are you
In
about virtual
Dishonored?
sims? What are they called?
Yeah, virtual. You know what I
I'm pretty
mean.
sure they
Like,
are called virtual sims. Yeah.
yeah, but like that scene is still rich in the indie developer scene, and it's getting like expanded upon. Like they're doing
Yeah,
new
no,
shit
it's
with it.
so
They're not
nice
just
to see
remaking the
indie
the
games
same games.
thriving. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
immersive
I've
sim.
always
Immersive
been
sim. That's
Immersive
the
sim.
That's
There you
it. You know, I've
What's
always been a
classed as
slut for an
immersive
indie
then?
game.
It's like a game. It's really hard to describe. Would you look up the definition?
what
I
immersive
don't want to get it
sim.
wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
which games
Well,
fall into that
But
category?
so
Deus Ex.
System Shock was the original immersive sim. It's basically games where the gameplay is entirely focused on being like emergent. And so so there'll be
Yeah.
like numerous ways of going about one different thing. So like you know how in Deus Ex where like you'll have to get into a building, you can either talk to the guy at the front, or you can sneak around back and crawl through a vent, or you can use your strength skill to like bust open a side door or something like that. Like that's what like an immersive sim offers basically. Really emergent gameplay with like lots of paths to follow. Like
Thief, the old Thief games.
yeah,
It's
so
interesting, actually. I'm reading about it here, and it says this is the Wikipedia article. It says whilst the immersive sim genre is well received critically, the sales have been varying.
Yeah.
So, for example, the original Deus Ex sold more than 500,000 units, which it says in brackets at the time was a respectable number. But its immediate sequel, Deus Ex Invisible War, was a commercial failure.
well, I mean that's for numerous other reasons though. Like Invisible War
Yeah,
really
I know.
wasn't that great of a game.
But then, if this is continuing, Deus Ex Human Revolution sold over 2.1 million copies within a month, whereas Mankind Divided, which I think we can agree is still a pretty good game,
Yeah.
didn't even clear 1 million sales in a year.
And that's when Eidos Montreal got made to work on the new Avengers game.
It's a good game. Like it's not.
And
Mankind Divided is not bad.
and the last part of the Deus Ex prequel trilogy will never be seen.
Yeah,
No, it
Sean,
will.
Sean, you know, I was thinking about this because I actually do have a news story. They're only the publisher, you know. They're not actually the developers.
Really?
I think it's I think Eidos Montreal
But
helped.
they've always been like helming it. Like whenever there's been something there, it's always been Eidos Montreal on the
I think
Deus
Eidos,
Ex
yeah,
games.
I think Eidos Montreal helped, but Crystal Dynamics are the primary developers for the Avengers game.
Well, for whatever reason, Eidos Montreal might have held like the right to it or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
yeah, I really wish there was more immersive sim games because like Prey was like one of the best games I played of like the era came. Like I didn't play it the era came out. I played it in like 2018, but it was one of the best games I played in 2018. It was fucking incredible.
With indie developers making them now as well, you're getting a lot more experimentation. Like there's a game called like Pain Simulator or something similar to that, and that's a more action focused virtual sim. And what do you call it? Disco Elysium. That's a story focused.
No,
When's that
I
coming,
wouldn't say Disco Elysium's
It
an
is.
immersive sim.
It is. It completely is. If you looked at it right, there's like the way that you build your character and the way that you go through the story is literally all choices. Like it's not choices like a Telltale game's choices. It's choices where you put your stats, and depending on where you put your stats depends on how you move through the story. But like your stats also don't determine that type of thing. It's like it's a dice roll to like find out whether or not like you can do something, but your stats heavily affect that kind of like D&D. Like I feel like it's a mixture between a CRPG and
I'd say it's
one of those
a lot
sims.
more of a CRPG than an immersive sim, mate. Like if you look at immersive sim, like if you play System Shock or Prey, like even BioShock, like BioShock was supposed to be a spiritual successor to the immersive sim genre.
I don't think it has all the same elements, though, does it?
Like I think the primary convention of an immersive sim game is that it's first person. That's the biggest one.
Okay, well, I'll pose a question to you guys then. Have you ever been more immersed in a first-person game than a third-person game, or not?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I don't really like third-person perspective as is, unless it's like top-down kind of 2D kind of thing. But I think like I would find way more immersion with first person all the time.
Well, okay, so here's something for you. Connor, you think Red Dead is an immersive game, right? We can agree
Absolutely.
on that.
It's not an immersive sim, but it's a very immersive game.
Okay. Did you play it more in third person or first person?
Always in third person.
Yeah,
Sure.
first person made me sick.
So there you go. So there's an immersive game that we all enjoyed, and we all played it in third person.
Well,
No,
as
yeah,
well,
no,
I,
but no,
I
but
feel like
hold on,
that you
hold on, Sean. Let me real quick just jump in because I really need to just rebut this.
Okay.
Like the word, just because like immersive sim has the word immersive in it, doesn't like being a fast part like an immersive sim is a genre. Like just because a game's immersive doesn't make it an immersive sim. Like that's what I was trying to say. Like just now, you know what I mean?
Okay, so it's a separate genre.
It is a separate genre. It has its
game.
own set of conventions. Yeah. And
But
like,
then,
if you look at
Bioshock's considered part of that.
yeah, Bioshock's considered an immersive sim.
Is Bioshock that immersive?
Well, no, it's I don't think you're you focus
It's
too much
it
on the
try
word immersive, mate.
Yeah.
it's like it tries to simulate like it tries to
entire
immerse
freedom
you
of
in the game by
choice.
simulating like freedom of choice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
okay.
like I can see why it really appeals to some people, but for me, I don't think it would appeal because I'm very like quite simple in my enjoyment of video games. So I like it when there's like one clear path and it's just like, oh, that doesn't work, so it has to be this instead of like I personally want to do this thing, so I'm gonna do it my way and kind of work around it. Like I really like taking the one route and it being like, yep, that's that on your list, on to the next thing. But that's just me personally entirely.
All right, let me just read like okay, so I'm just gonna like plagiarize the Wikipedia page on immersive sim and just read it to you here, Joe.
I was reading it earlier, but yeah, go on.
Okay, well yeah, okay, well I guess there's no point in me doing it then.
No,
But
go for it.
the term
Read it for
immersive
the
sim may
people.
be used to describe the game design philosophy behind the immersive sim genre, which uses interacting, reactive, and consistent game systems to create emerging gameplay and a sense of player agency. Immersive sims typically task the player to make their way through levels and complete missions, but do not enforce the means by which the player does this. A common example would be where the player character must get past a guard. The choice of how to do this would be up to the player. They may attempt to sneak around, use parkour or other similar abilities, aided with some equipment to slip around them, file smart. Yeah, you get it. Like, so the whole point of immersive sims is just like a very emergent gameplay where you have multiple choices to do one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so it's
It's-
simulating immersion and reality by giving you all of these options.
Right.
Yeah, like you
okay.
wouldn't say Oblivion's an immersive sim because even though Oblivion can be a very immersive game, you like all of the quests are very like go here, do this, go here, do this.
Yeah,
It's
like
a-
you're told
it's-
what to do and you have to do that.
Yeah.
It's the type of those games where you think like, oh, I wonder if I can do this, and then you do it and it works, and you're like, mhm.
Yeah.
Like it almost challenges you to like break the game, like go as far as you can with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so even though it might not be like fully immersive to you, it's more like reality in that you have all of these options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
Joe looks happy with that,
No.
I think. Good
Ed,
little-
God, that's okay. So that was my segment on educating Joe.
Yeah. We just did some educating, boys.
Yeah.
How did we
It's
get here from
true
talking about?
and it's educational.
How did we get here from talking about Dynasty Warriors?
That was good. That was good flow that we had.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how it happened. Won't happen again.
All right. Well, you know what else? You know what else has had good flow? No, that's not a good segue.
Please stop.
V1 Interactive has shut down.
Aww.
Did you guys hear about V1 Interactive?
No.
No.
Well, it was made by one of the co-creators of Halo. They split away from Bungie and they made their own game, Disintegration, and its debut
Oh, I've
game.
heard about that.
Yep, sold really, really poorly. Sold poorly enough to the point where now V1 Interactive has shut down, and it took them like 5 years to make this game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's 5 years they're never getting back.
That is so sad.
That must be such a kick in the teeth.
Mm-hmm. That is awful.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. My heart goes out to those guys. I didn't play
Definitely.
Disintegration, purely because I didn't really see it. I don't like mech games, and B, if I did play it, nobody else would be playing it, so there wouldn't really be that much of a point. But yeah, Disintegration sold really poorly, and now V1 Interactive shut down.
It's a shame.
Mm.
I had some really good people on the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, if you like they worked on Halo for fuck's sake, like it's one of the best selling like franchises of all time.
Mm.
Another really like big franchise another big selling franchise of all time. I'm slurring my words now. I'm starting to get to that point. Naughty Dog, they're hiring a lot for a new game of theirs, which will apparently be multiplayer based.
Connor, you should apply.
It's in the US. I'd have to relocate
No.
to the US. I can't.
Relocate.
I can't. Well, I mean, like, I could apply, but like one of the options is like, can you work in the US? And it's like,
Yes.
well, I mean, no. But like, I just know for a fact that they're gonna filter out the applications which say no straight into like the trash. So there's no point in me applying.
Well, you could say yes if you pay to relocate me because I'm awesome and I'm so worth it. They'd be like, yeah, sure, this guy knows what he's doing.
Hi, I'm a Junie with no experience in the industry. Please pay for my pay for my airline tickets and my house in the US for like 2 months.
Until you give me a fat paycheck so I can pay you back.
Yeah, just so I can like make some really amateurish assets that you're gonna throw out and not use. But okay, so the job role that caught the eye of IGN, which is the place where I read this article originally, was for an economy designer, someone to design the progression systems and tune the in-game economy so that people will play for as long as possible.
I'd never actually thought about like that shit. Like, you could just hire somebody who's done economics in uni and shit. Like a maths smart man, not like a gaming man.
But ideally,
yeah, I'd never considered those aspects because I'm small brain.
Ideally, you'd want someone with a background in gaming and economy, because like you want someone in gaming because gamers know what gamers want.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I feel like the industry's moved past just hiring people who have backgrounds in marketing and economics and stuff like that. But some people have theorized that this will be standalone The Last of Us multiplayer game, sort of like the first game's really half-baked PvP.
Okay.
Did you guys ever play that?
No. I saw it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it, I never played it. I think it looked okay. Like obviously I didn't play it, so like I can't tell you from first-hand experience whether or not it was good, but I mean, you know, if it is going to be like a standalone The Last of Us multiplayer game, I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good world to set like a multiplayer game, and I feel like
yeah, definitely.
Especially if they use the engine. Like, as much as I don't like The Last of Us 2 story, the engine is pretty incredible. It's a great looking game.
It's impressive what they did with the hardware that they had.
It looked very cool.
Next up, 6 Days in Fallujah is still making headlines after the CEO of Victura, which is the game's publisher as far as I'm aware, tweeted, "We understand the events recreated in 6 Days in Fallujah are inseparable from politics. This is, of course, after also stating earlier that the game will not grapple with the political machinations that led to the titular conflict." So now the company's been criticised for just like doing a U-turn and like just it seems like they're going back on what they're saying about the game, which is that it's not going to be political, but that they can't avoid the game being political.
Yeah, like, choose one.
Yeah. Izzy, do you know much about 6 Days in Fallujah?
Absolutely not. Nothing at all.
Okay, so Fallujah was so apparently this game was going to come out in, I think it was like 2008 or something like that.
Oh shit!
2009
okay.
for the
while
Xbox
ago.
360.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was going to come out. It was going to come out a while ago. It was in development, and essentially it was going to be sort of like a realistic tactical military game, which took place in the real world. Like it took place during the real world conflict that happened in Fallujah, where like a bunch of American soldiers and like loads like thousands of insurgents and civilians died.
Yeah.
And the game was cancelled because people dogpiled it basically because it was going to be like based on a real world conflict.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's like too insensitive. Even no matter how hard you try to like do that kind of thing justice, like I just don't think it's necessarily appropriate.
Really? See, I'm of the opposite.
I mean,
I'm
no,
of
like I kind of think that too. Like, do we really need to portray the atrocities?
Yeah, because like there's so many games that have portrayed a fictitious war or whatever, and they've done fine. But I feel like real life people here could get really upset.
Okay,
Like
so
I
here,
obviously can't speak for them, but I feel like you could
well, this
write something that wouldn't upset people
Well,
as much.
this game is being made with like the full support and participation of Marines who were in Fallujah.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm of the opposite opinion because like why then would we make any games about military conflicts? Like, well,
I mean,
like
should we make games about like things that have happened in the real world, like fairly recently?
well, I mean, like we made.
Tough one.
Well, I mean, like, well, like the first and Second World War were just like a generation ago.
But should, like, if we're saying time's not a factor, should there be games about 9/11?
Yeah.
Should there be games about the 7/7 bombings? Really?
I feel like Call of Duty's kind of already went there.
They've
Yeah, we've
alluded
got
to it,
Call
but
of
they haven't
Duty
said
World War
this is
II.
9/11. We're doing 9/11, and then they didn't fly a plane at the Twin Towers.
Well, no, but I feel like at the same, like it depends on how like light-footed
I
you
feel
are
like
about
that's
doing it.
I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah,
Like, it's not real. It's not actually, like, you're not actually going to upset real people.
but I mean, like at the same time though, like the developers. I'm not like I'm in no way involved with the
I
developers of
understand. Like,
6 Days in Fallujah. I'm just giving my opinion. I feel like
Mhm.
if we like act very tentative about things that happen in the real world, then we're never going to learn about anything. Like if this game's
Oh,
being
for
made
sure.
if this game's being made with the full support of Marines who were at Fallujah, who like they're the ones who have the final say about who's going to get upset about like
Oh,
Marines
definitely. Yeah, no,
being
I
killed in
didn't
Fallujah.
realize
well,
that
it's
at
not just
first,
Marines.
but still, it
It's
was
not
like the
just Marines as
civilians
well.
as well.
Yeah.
But in a more like general way of like talking about real world conflicts
Oh,
and
well,
stuff.
I mean,
I
like,
just
It's like
yeah.
that type of meme that you see where it's like, oh, America will start a war in your country, then come back 10 years later and make a movie about how sad it made its veterans.
yeah, that is true.
It's,
Yeah, that's true.
it's a
But I mean,
very
like,
difficult one.
if you're alluding to like people in like the Middle East getting upset that this game gets released, I think they have more important things to worry about, to be honest.
I'm not just worried about like upsetting people either. Really, it's just a bit like,
You're kind
really,
of like
come on,
glorifying, well, not glorifying
not
necessarily, but
glorifying
it could come across, I don't know. It
There-
just seems strange
people
because video games, at the end of it, I feel
making
like are
money
meant
off
to be about
tragedy.
escapism and like kind of doing fictional stuff, even if it is realistic. So, like, the way I always think about things like Call of Duty is it's just, shooty pew pew. But when you're like bringing real things into your shooty pew
what about
pew,
movies? Because there have been plenty of movies which have like depicted real world atrocities,
Yeah,
and video games aren't that far separated
Yeah.
from movies.
I feel like it's different because video games are very much an active pastime, whereas movies are very passive. Like, that is genuinely the only point I have to make.
What do you mean by that though? Like define active and passive pastimes.
Well, passive, you like with watching stuff, you are like sitting back. It happens in front of you. There's not well, there can obviously it can be immersive, but like it's happening and you can't do anything about it. But you're just
Yeah,
like sitting there. But with
I
games,
feel
you're
like
involving yourself and you're making these decisions and you are doing it yourself.
I feel like you can portray the terrible sides of war and stuff in video games, like Spec Ops: The Line and shit. Like, you commit atrocities in that game, and like you see how it realistically affects people. But like when it's something like real life, and then it's like, now we're going to experience that and see what happened. It's like, now you get to commit the atrocities, and then like you're in an airplane or you're watching an airplane in a video game that crashes into like a place where it really happened.
Mm.
And it's like it is just, like, I know it's like a stigma that games can't be more like than they already are, because they can tell really interesting stories, but like, I don't know, something about having a video game where like real
the whole
people
point-
died,
Yeah,
or
the whole
like
point of video games is that like you are the one doing it. That's why we've got video games of films. So like you've watched the film, now you get to be in the film. That's
But-
like kind of the difference between active and passive, at least for me.
they can probably do it in a respective way. It's just
Mm.
I don't know.
I suppose it remains to be seen about like how the game handles
Oh,
it. But from what I've seen, it's not going to be like I think the first game got panned because it was like it was going to be like a Ghost Recon, like very arcadey sort of like
Yeah, like shovelware wouldn't have done it justice.
yeah, like it just wanted to use like the titular conflict as just like a selling point. But now,
Yeah.
like from what I've seen, and this is all like I'm only speaking from what I've seen of like the promotional content, it does look like it's going to be. I think I read like something and it was like we want this to be like more of a survival horror game. Like we want this to depict just how fucking horrible it is going to war.
Even
Yeah.
just like I understand that, like I understand completely, but even just saying that made me feel a bit weird. Like I don't know. It just seems like it's gamifying it.
I'm
Like
paraphrasing, by the way. I'm paraphrasing.
yeah, yeah, I know. But like even like when you say it like that, it's like something where people really died, and it's like, oh, it's a survival horror experience. Like you're having fun with this game.
Mm. Yeah, like I completely see both sides. Like I can't really take a side because I can empathize with both arguments. It just I do feel
I mean,
that
like
real life things will always kind of rub me the wrong way because I always see video games and films as like entertainment for enjoyment. I don't personally want to live through atrocities of war for fun, but like that's not my
Well,
chosen
see,
genre
like,
regardless.
like,
So
yeah.
I've kind of my opinion here is a little less relevant
I
than yours.
think I just like playing devil's advocate quite a lot as well.
Oh yeah, which is always good for debate. I love it.
But at the same time, like you play Insurgency, like if you play Insurgency, if you played Insurgency or seen Insurgency, like that's a pretty harrowing game. Like when you get shot at, like your character just fucking starts screaming. Like like if you told me that game was 6 Days in Fallujah, I wouldn't bat a fucking eyelid. Like
it's the context,
yeah,
though, really, isn't it?
but that's what I mean, though. Is like, is the context really what matters here? Like, there have
Yeah.
been plenty of games that have depicted real world atrocities, like whether or not they actually happened. Like Al Qaeda and stuff like that. You know, they're like a video game enemy #1 for like generic brown military shooters. Like, just because they're not actually called Al Qaeda doesn't necessarily mean that like like just because like it's an
not about
allusion to what's happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like.
But then surely that you could argue that in this case,
I
they
feel
could
like
base
name
it off
dropping.
this,
Yeah,
but then like not
I just-
actually call it that.
I just feel like name dropping an event's a bit like distasteful.
Yeah, I've just seen
Mm.
Joe's man walk past there. Oh,
She's in a dressing gown, bless her.
oh, I love Andrea.
Aww.
I've just
You gonna
docked.
cut that bit out?
Yeah, I've
or
just
you gonna
docked.
keep
I've
her?
just docked Joe. I'm sure he won't care.
Joseph Anderson, 14 Wallaby Water. It's like his real house.
so, you know, some little creep's gonna like look back at this in like 3 years from now and just like try and Google it. Joe's been quiet this entire conversation as well. We've been sat talking about 6 days. I've still got like 6 more topics to get through.
Holy shit! You came loaded for this.
Actually, no, I've got
You
one,
were like,
2, 3.
"Oh, it's been a slow week."
I've got four
Ah,
more.
look at
I've got 4 more topics to get through.
We're gonna wait for Joe to get back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saw your mum in a
Aye.
dressing gown.
Yeah.
Good.
Joe, you've been quiet on this whole 6 days in Fallujah situation. What do you make of it?
I mean, the weird thing is, I remember reading about it in like the fucking PSM3 magazines that used to come out years ago. 'Cause I used to get them. I don't have much to say about it. I was more surprised the fact that it's actually just coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there an audience for this? Like, do people want it? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the bit that really gets me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think survival horrors is an interesting way of going about like a war game, because I think for the soldiers it is very much horror. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and see, this is why I think I really appreciate the fact that they've got the soldiers in to talk about their experiences and like have an input in the game. because they want it to be as like contextually sensitive as possible. And you know, when I think in the announcement trailer they had like face-to-face interviews with a few of the soldiers, and one of them was saying like, you know, like you can't imagine like the feeling of relief that you get when you like bust down a door and there's nothing on the other side.
Yeah, you talked about this before actually in
Yeah.
another podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, I've got family members who are military, who are like part of the military, and you know, like just thinking that any of them could go through that is
Yeah, well,
it's-
I mean, it would be interesting to do a military game where the aim is to like get through a mission
Mhm.
without killing people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like, you know, like God, you know, as much as like if anything, yeah, video games glorify like, you know, military
Oh,
squads
definitely.
like killing people and stuff.
Call,
Like,
Call of
you-
Duty does.
Yeah, but like, you know, like in wars and stuff like that, the military are often like, you know, none of them are going there just to like, you know, kill like mercilessly and mindlessly just kill like members of a civilian population. They are
Mm.
going there to genuinely just try and root out like terrorist insurgents, and you know, like it's like civilians do end up becoming casualties, and it's like I feel like avoiding that fact like sort of glorifies the idea of war even more.
I mean, I think in general, our concept of war, just as like day-to-day people, is still very much influenced by our sort of concept of World War One and World War Two. You got trenches, you've got people from either side just fucking running at each other. But like, it's absolutely not like that anymore. And I think a lot of people, when they hear about war, that's kind of all they think about. Like, one side just try to pew pew the other side, and that's kind of it. But it is so much more than that, especially now.
There's a film by I think it's called Paul Greengrass. He was the director of the Jason Bourne films. It's called The Green Zone. I don't suppose any of you've ever seen it before.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've
It
seen
was.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched it when I was a kid, and I watched it purely because it was Matt Damon and like Paul Greengrass working together again, because I really like the Jason Bourne films, and it was another sort of like you know, like fictitious sort of Afghanistan conflict where. And like for the majority of the film, they're not actually like having firefights against insurgents. For the majority of the film, all they're doing is trying to stop civilians from hurting themselves.
God.
Like and and like I feel like that was like the most accurate portrayal of like of the war of like wars that I've seen, because like I mean I can't really comment because I've never been to war or anything like that.
Really?
But you have played that Fallujah game. Survival horror
God,
masterpiece.
you know, I feel like we should just move on from this topic. I feel like I've
It's gonna be our next what's her face?
oh, Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Yeah, except the recording hasn't failed yet, so
Oh, that's good.
Don't jinx it.
Don't you can't you
Don't
you can only
jinx
say her
it.
name twice more before it dies.
Gina
right, we're towing the edge now.
Oh, Gina.
Yeah,
If
I'm
one more person says this, we're fucked.
right, yeah, enough about fictitious fucking actually no, non-fiction military games. Remedy have claimed that 2 of their upcoming games are going to be set in a shared universe. Whether or not this means that they're going to be set in the Alan Wake / Quantum Break universe remains to be seen.
Yeah,
But 2 of their upcoming games, one of them is like a AAA game, and apparently the other one is going to be sort of like a smaller experience, whatever that means. I don't know if that means like it's going to be a mobile tower defense game or what, but
Remedy also makes Sniper Elite.
did they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange.
And they made the zombie spin-off games for them.
War of the Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you.
And they're also going to be Epic exclusives. I didn't sneeze these. Yeah, bad.
I know.
Brr.
I thought I'd bless you.
Yeah, they're apparently Epic Games are the one that are funding them, which rubs me the wrong way purely because I don't like Epic Games trying to constantly just wring their fucking groovy little hands around game developers like necks and say, "Give us exclusives now." It really.
Yeah, no, it bothers me a little bit too.
I feel like they wouldn't give them exclusives if they weren't offering them money.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. They're funding the game development, which is fine, but Remedy aren't the if we're gonna start going down this route where
Yeah.
Epic are gonna start being like, you develop games for me now, then it's just gonna.
I mean, they don't say that. They say, "Please, we will give you money if you develop games for us," and they say, "Yeah, we'll take the money."
Sometimes, yeah, like
They're not like, "Oh no, I'm making so much money, Epic, stop, please, not another £1 million."
Oh, I can't take it.
Never heard of a hostile takeover before, Sean.
Please, no, so much money.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm not saying it's malicious what they're doing, but it's anti-consumer.
The way you describe throttling somebody's neck sounds pretty malicious.
Oh yeah, but forgive, okay, so forgive the hyperbole, but you know what I mean. They're basically throwing money at the issue of exclusivity to try and win against Valve.
Because pretty much everyone I know prefers Steam to fucking Epic. I
same.
don't know a single person who'd be like, "No, mate, I've only got Epic Launcher." Like, who the fuck are you? I want to speak to you. DM
That
me
may-
right now.
Sounds like that's because Steam has almost all of the games on it.
Yeah.
Really? I had no idea. Should I get it?
Because they've cornered the market.
They were just the first ones to do it right, Sean. They didn't like they weren't the ones that threw money at game developers to get them sign on to Steam. Game developers came to Steam because it did it correct.
Because it was good.
Yeah, it is good. I see nothing wrong with the reason that I see nothing wrong with Valve having a monopoly is because of the way they got the monopoly. Game developers went to Steam and players went to Steam, and they all had a unanimous agreement that Steam was a good platform and that they're ethical and they don't just throw money at developers to try and get them to come to them. But Epic, on the other hand, are just doing the exact opposite. They're trying to get developers to come to them simply by.
I mean, it's just
throwing
bribery,
checks at
really,
them.
isn't it? Yeah.
And it's anti-consumer. Because they're forcing us to go on Epic Store to play a couple of games.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Not really. I like my little Steam launcher. Steam have got a good thing going, and I just
You can add the what do you call it? You can add games in. I know it's a patchwork solution, but if you're that bothered, you can add the game exe into your Steam game file.
Yeah, but that's not really the point.
Yeah, but you still need to have Epic Games Launcher open to play it.
I mean,
I'm a simple man. I don't want to have to do stuff.
Yeah, lots of
to
people
make me happy.
Lots of people really aren't bothered by using multiple launchers, but I am for the principle.
It stresses me out.
Yeah.
I'm very much I'd like to have a digitally minimalist lifestyle. I want to have as little going on as possible. I organize all of my folders. I have things a certain way. I label everything in my emails. I don't want 4 games launchers.
Yeah,
I want to use Steam.
It's people if Valve really were this evil capitalist monopoly, then
I'm not saying Valve are evil, but even if you have a very nice overlord, he's still your overlord.
Yeah, but he's nice.
I mean,
oh, that makes it okay.
Just define overlord there, though. Just because they're the biggest company.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that Valve's bad, but having a market where nobody can. I know, you're saying it's anti-consumerist and it's cheating. It is cheating. Yeah, they're just buying games to get them on there. But having competitive market isn't a bad thing. It makes Steam strive to be better so that they continuously stay at the top.
But
Yeah.
I feel like they would still be trying pretty hard because they've tried really hard from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but what's bad about healthy competition?
But this
Nothing.
well, no, but this isn't healthy competition though. It would be healthy competition if it would be healthy competition. If
No
we're throwing money
games
at the problem.
companies, no games distributors really get anywhere unless they like I don't. You couldn't do it. Like you couldn't make a new thing that could rival Steam. Like even Epic doesn't rival Steam, and like I know that's its own thing because like obviously you've got all the features that Steam has, but like Epic, like nobody'd use Epic if there wasn't any exclusives on there, and obviously they're getting the exclusives to get people in the door, like, and
Well, yeah, nobody would use Epic if they didn't have the exclusives
But
on
it's
there, and
not-
Epic know that, so they're paying loads of money to get exclusives because they know that they're just not as good.
It's not sticking though. Like the people who go to Epic Store are the people who are going there to play Fortnite or use UE4. The people who go there to play exclusives, they'll play the exclusives and then they'll also have Steam open in the background. They're like the
Yeah, or they'll
the
play the
market will-
exclusive,
the market will
and then they'll
sort
finish
itself out
it
then.
and leave.
Like if it's a failing plan, the market will sort itself out, and they'll realize that they're losing money, and people won't use it, and they'll stop, and something else will happen. Like it is competition because like it's sure like they can try this, and it'll show the people you can't do it this way.
Yeah, see, I was about to make this point. That's happened already. Like Bethesda thought they can go their own way with their own launcher with Fallout 76. That didn't fucking work. So now Fallout 76 is on Steam. Origin have tried for years to try and have their own game launcher.
And
That
it,
hasn't
look
worked.
at it.
Now
Look at it.
now all of EA's games are on Steam. Uplay have been the same. Uplay have always had like a symbiotic relationship with Steam where you'll buy the game on Steam, but you'll still have to run Uplay.
Yeah,
But,
but
like,
also at
That's
some
just so they
point,
can harvest your
Epic
data.
are gonna
Yeah.
run out of people that they can throw money at, and they're gonna run out of money to throw, and then people will just not go there anymore.
Yeah,
I guess.
They'll
I don't
figure it
know.
out themselves.
Yeah, it will get figured out, but it's just like they are making such a bad move, I feel, just like with their whole operations the way they are, because they're not trying to be better. They're just trying to bribe more people. And that's not how you build a healthy, positive platform that people want to use. Like, people will just use it for like the one or two things that they need that they can't get on Steam. And then they'll
Yeah,
go
like,
back to Steam
if
because
Ep-
Steam is better.
If Epic actually put as much time into like fixing their platform as they did money into trying to get people to make games for it, then I feel like the competition would be a lot healthier.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
But the fact that like Epic Store doesn't even have like user reviews yet just speaks volumes to how far behind it is compared to Steam. I mean,
But I love all the things that Steam do with like trading cards and backgrounds and
Yes,
all of that stuff
like-
makes it like so interactive.
like
And like the store.
Sean, you use the word overlord. Like, I feel like that has like so many negative connotations behind it that I don't agree with because Steam
No,
Valve are
listen,
very
mate.
ethical.
I'm not trying to say like Steam's bad, but like all I'm trying to say is that like like even if it's bad competition, like competition's good because it'll like you've got to have this thing because even if Steam's like this really nice company that treats us all really well, like it's not okay just to have one person that rules it all because it will eventually get complacent. Like if this was the way forever because you think it's perfect and nothing needs changing because Steam's great, then if it changed hands and Gabe wasn't in charge anymore and somebody else decided they wanted to run the company differently, then like obviously competition would come up and like move in different ways, but you'd be all for it then, like because Steam has changed. But just because they are good now doesn't mean that they should never be challenged.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think my main point is that like players, like the Steam users are the ones who are deciding that Steam should be like in charge of PC gaming.
Then yeah, then nobody will use Epic and like this, like you won't get some of your games that you want from Epic. Like, and if you want, you can decide not to do that and like just not play them for a while until they come to the other markets. Because the games companies will figure out eventually people aren't using Epic, and they'll go back to Steam.
Well, I suppose that's what like the timed. That's why like some games have timed exclusivity and not just full exclusivity.
Yeah, it's usually like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I mean we had to wait for Ashen for a year before we could play it.
God.
Do you remember that, Joe?
Yeah, so it was Epic Store exclusive at first, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh
Yeah, but
yeah,
what bothers me, and I think I've mentioned it before actually, is just like when stuff has a release date on Steam and it's on Steam, then it's like, oops, sorry, we're gonna be with Epic now just for like a little while. So even though
Yeah.
you've had this wish listed for ages, like you gotta wait a little while longer. It's like, fuck you.
I went.
Makes me angry.
I went around Joe's before when he lived in Newcastle, and we had it all planned. I was gonna come around. I was gonna go around Joe's, and we were gonna play Ashen on the night of its release. It didn't
Aw.
come out until like 4 days after.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it didn't
heartbreaking.
come out. It didn't come out on PS until after I'd left Joe's, even though there was like a planned release day. And I remember,
Yeah.
like, Joe remember this as well. I actually had a Twitter conversation with like one of the social media managers for like the was it? I think it's Annapurna Interactive with the publishers. Yeah, like I had a Twitter conversation. She was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be out soon. Don't worry." And then like eventually she just stopped replying to me, and it didn't come
Aw.
out.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What did we ended up playing, Joe? We ended up playing a bit of Shenmue. We played a bit of
Dishonored, I think.
yeah, no, we played Shadow. Yeah, we played a bit of Shadow of Mordor as well.
So
Or
no
Sh-
Shadow of War.
Yeah, yeah. What else? Oh, we played Code Vein.
Oh yeah, I've finished Code Vein.
Have you
the
finished it
actual-
now?
Yeah,
Bye.
I finished it weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Right, fucking hell.
How was it? Did it get any better?
You know that bit with the castle where it's like really
Yeah.
repetitive, and it's like that game. It's trying to be that game than Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the worst part of the game, and then it gets better after that.
Alright.
I know. I don't mind Code Vein. It's not. It's all right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not Dark Souls, but it's like anime Dark Souls, which is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Rockstar have commented on the upcoming GTA 5 re-release for next-gen consoles, stating that they are committed to not just doing a simple port and that it will actually be a remaster of some variety.
Ooh.
Take-Two also reiterated their plans to release 93 games in the next 5 years.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Take-Two are a pretty big publisher. That's probably doable for them.
Yeah. Big numbers though.
Yeah. Personally, I still don't even think that GTA 5 should be getting another console re-release.
Yeah, but the thing is, people will buy it
Yeah,
and
that's
they
what
will love
yeah,
it.
It makes money,
Mhm.
and like if it makes dollars, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's
Exactly.
that's the old saying, but at the same time, I feel like it sets a really dangerous precedent. Like if your game is successful on one platform, you have full permission to release it on another.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like, if it's a free upgrade, I won't care, but I'm not sure if it is.
I doubt it will be if they're saying it'll be a remaster
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
redoing bits as well. Like they
that's what
will
I'm
make
worried
you pay
about.
again.
If they charge people again for Grand Theft Auto 5, I'll be mad.
I bet you they hype
Yeah,
up
but they
like how
will.
much they've changed about it just to get people to buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it has a fourth person perspective this time.
But also, if it's coming out on like new gen consoles, then it's the same concept that you can buy a PS4 game or a PS5 game. They're exactly the same game, but there's like a 10-15 pound difference just because of the different consoles. Like
Yeah.
they will make you pay for it.
GTA, the
sucks.
first game, to be on 3 generations of consoles.
That's insane. Like, why would that? Just make a GTA 6.
GTA 5 makes them too much money.
It does. It makes them
Why?
it makes them so much cash.
GTA 5
It's
too.
crazy.
They're even releasing GTA Online as a standalone game as well.
And
Yeah.
Red Dead.
Yeah, so like the gullible cunts who haven't bought GTA 5 yet are going to be buying GTA Online.
Featuring our first game, Money, and our second game, Money 2.
Yeah.
And Money the prequel.
Did you guys hear about there's one of the guys who like was the sort of the figurehead behind GTA Online. He was like one of the game producers on like pretty much every Rockstar game since GTA 3. His name was like Leslie or something. He's making his own game, and it's apparently going to be like It's going to be a bit like GTA Online, like a fully on an online sort of life sim MMO.
Okay.
And I forgot what it's called now. Actually, I have to Google it really quick. GTA Online Director new game.
What's up,
Shut up, IGN. I've just.
Please hire me though.
please, God, hire me, but also shut up.
Just this moment.
It's called Everywhere. It's called Everywhere, and it's by Leslie Benzies. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no
Very
gameplay.
cool.
There's no gameplay footage or anything like that. There's only like vague descriptions of it online. Apparently, it's going to be like a sort of sci-fi type game. Which I mean, it sounds like it could be good.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I mean, he clearly kind of knows what he's doing with GTA. So yeah,
You know what else
go
sounds
for
like?
it.
You know what else sounds like it could be good, Sean? Sean, me and you, let's talk for a minute. Games set in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Have you played many?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, could you name
About 6 or 7.
Yeah, like, could you name them?
Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And then there's Neverwinter Nights 2. There's the Neverwinter Nights 1. There is Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Mm-hmm.
How many is that? Like 5.
6.
No,
6.
5. Yeah, 6. Yeah.
And I've also played Icewind Dale,
Mhm.
CRPG. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
anymore.
like a few games, but only a few franchises, like 3 or 4 franchises, really. Well, like considering the lore of D&D is just like so fucking vast, there aren't really that many games out there, especially not in this generation. I'm pretty sure every game that you've just mentioned was like made between like 1980 to like 2010, and there's been
That's when
fucking
D&D got
nothing.
popular.
Yeah, there's been fucking nothing since then, other than Baldur's Gate 3, which I've already like talked at length about in my Dead Game Society show. But get this, Hidden Path Entertainment. Have you guys heard of them before? Well, I'm personally a big fan of Hidden Path because they're the guys that made fucking Counter-Strike Global Offensive. They are making a AAA third-person open-world RPG set in Faerun, which is the D&D universe.
Ooh.
And earlier on today, I actually sent him an email with my portfolio because I would fucking kill to be on that team.
That would be sick as fuck.
Yeah, I feel like that would be fucking incredible, especially if like me and Sean have been talking about this pretty much at pretty at length because we're both dungeon masters and we're both nerds. We both really like D&D, and D&D lore is pretty fucking generic. But there are parts of it that just gleam. Like there are parts of it which just carry the entire weight of the franchise. Like the Drow, the Underdark stuff. Joe, I've talked to you about the Driz novels before that I've read. Like they are more interesting than pretty much any other facet of D&D lore to me. And there are a bunch of stuff like that which is interesting to other people. And so I feel like a game which is set in the universe of Faerun, if they incorporate elements of those worlds, I feel like this could be this would be a really good game. Pretty interesting choice that it's Hidden Path though, considering I think the only games that they've made is CS:GO and Defense Grid. I think they made. I've never really heard of them making an RPG before. But I mean, Creative Assembly had never really made a first-person horror game before they made Alien Isolation, and they managed to surprise me. So I suppose it just remains to be seen.
Yeah, no, definitely fingers crossed for that because it sounds like it's got a huge amount of potential.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think they must know that, I'm trying to think of the word. They must know that they can't fuck it up, basically.
Yeah,
we've not had a sort of D&D universe game for quite a while, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So, they've got a really big opportunity here to, do something awesome.
There is actually another game set in the D&D universe, which I'm really looking forward to. It's called D&D Dark... it's not a Baldur's Gate game. It's just called Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, I'm pretty sure. But it's essentially... It's based around the Companions of the Hall, which are like the main characters behind R.A. Salvatore's novels. Really popular novels for anyone who's into D&D. And it's going to have like the gameplay of like Vermintide or Left 4 Dead 2, sort of like four-player co-op where you just kill lots of things. And I
Very
watched the trailer,
nice.
and apparently a lot of people were shitting on the trailer for the game. I thought it was great personally. But yeah, that's another D&D game that I'm looking forward to. But that again, like that's it's a hack and slash. It's not going to be like an open world RPG game. And I mean, even Baldur's Gate, that's you know, we've got that in early access, and that's coming out, but that will hopefully be finished by this year. That's not an open world RPG. It's a CRPG. It's very linear. There's only a certain amount of things that you can do. But I feel like an open world third person RPG, like if it was in the vein of like Skyrim or something like that, that would be fucking incredible.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I mean, when you think of like D&D fantasy open world, you kind of do wander to Elder Scrolls just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, that's how the world of Elder Scrolls got made in the first place, because Bethesda actually started out making sports games. They made like a few football games. I think they made Gridiron, which was like a physics based football game.
Okay.
And then they were like, well, what game should we do next? Well, we don't really want to do sports games. We'd much rather be playing Dungeons and Dragons. So they're like, oh, why don't we just make a Dungeons and Dragons game? And that's how they started making Elder Scrolls.
Fucking cool. Yeah, no, leave EA to do the football games.
Joe, you've been quiet this entire time, and I just feel
Yeah,
like
you look really sad.
yeah,
you all
you
good?
You look
Is the
really, really, really horrible.
Oh,
Don't
I'm good.
say that.
Oh, nice.
I was trying to be nice.
No, like he's got this like
No,
horrible.
you look fucking disgusting.
He's got this like horrible like look of grimace on his face, like something horrible's about to happen. Like he's like,
No, I'm fine. I just don't have anything to say.
Oh, okay.
well, maybe
I
you'll
don't
have
want
something.
to feel like we're treading on your toes a little bit.
Well, maybe you'll have something to say
No.
about this next topic, the final topic that I have written down here. Crystal Dynamics have somehow dug the Avengers into an even deeper hole than before. They've fucked with the XP system, introducing a curvature to the way that leveling up works, which means it now may take up to like 5 hours longer to level up a character. Apparently, fans of the series are trying to defend this by saying that like you level up faster in the early game, which means that you like apparently like ease players into the mechanics of the game, but it takes longer to level up later, which is sort of like helps pad out the lack of content. And detractors of the game are obviously just saying, why the fuck are you making a grindy game even grindier?
That game's went free to play, that we were.
Has it? God, well, that doesn't strike me as too much of a surprise, to be honest. I mean, like, the game did sell, like, really, really poorly. I mean, considering it was supposed to be, like, the Avengers game, it was supposed to ride off of the back of the Avengers, like, the Avengers MCU. Like, I'm really surprised it didn't sell that well, to be honest. I thought all the kiddies would have been the people that got on board with it.
I don't think I disagree with the concept of a bit of a curve with leveling up. Just because I am very much the kind of person who likes to have their hand held a little bit as you like get into something. So like leveling up is easier at the start, so you kind of get into it. Because if it's too hard to begin with, like at the very, very start and you're getting nowhere, then it does feel like super frustrating. And like surely do you get to a certain point, there's gotta be like a cap. Like, so why not make it harder as you go on?
I have no idea who that Avengers game is actually made for, because like, if it was an Avengers game for kids or like young teens or even older teens, or just an enjoyable Avenger games, I think what people would want is a big flashy experience, as if it was basically a movie. Like you wouldn't complain if it was a AAA game that was on rails and like any of the old attempts at Iron Man or Captain America games that have been on all earlier generation consoles. Like they try to mimic a comic or a movie. Like all the Spider-Man games. But what they've turned it into is almost like a Destiny clone. And like, who's playing that? Like not kids, not like young kids. Like that Destiny's like you have to think about it. It gets a bit complicated. You spend a lot of time on it. You know what I mean? Like it's basically an MMO.
Yeah, it's like I played WoW as a kid, but I played WoW because it was like a game where I could just run around and explore the world. I had no
Yeah.
fucking clue what I was doing.
You're not going to get any of the intricacies, and you're not going to get like the dungeon mythic rare experience out of it. But you
Yeah,
can play it.
exactly,
You can
yeah.
mess about with it.
Yeah.
That's because WoW's a multifaceted game, though. You can do more than just one thing in it.
Hmm.
No, I think we can all agree it was just a bit of a flop.
Yeah. Fuck that game. Sean, you said you had monkey news this week.
Oh, all right, 1 second.
Please make my week.
Well, there's a couple of things that we have to give every week, and I think this week, in order to find a good story, it's not about monkeys, but it's about animals and gaming.
Okay.
I
Right?
think we've pretty much established with like by week 2 when you're talking about
Yeah.
pigs playing Pong, monkey news is just about animals.
So, a games developer in Tunisia, called I don't even know if it says the game developer's name. Well, a game developer in it says digital. It's called Digital Mania. A game developer in Tunisia called Digital Mania. They made a mobile game called Bagra, which literally translates to cow. And it's about keeping a herd of cows and preventing other players from stealing them. Like Pirate Kings. Like build up your own little base, knock other people, do whatever. But they had a leaderboard for the amount of cows, and it was like a Tunisia wide leaderboard, and whoever got on the top got prizes. Like they got some prizes.
Did you get a real cow?
All right. So third place got. Come
on, I need to know.
Third place got a laptop.
Okay.
Okay.
Not quite a real cow.
Second place got they got like a certificate to say that they'd sponsored a cow, and a couple actually won the top prize, which was a cow.
That makes me so happy.
I'd much prefer to be in third place. Like I deliberately sabotaged my own gameplay experience to get the laptop in that scenario.
Oh god.
But yeah, the cow was called Bridget, and it spent 2 months in the developer's office living there until somebody won.
What the fuck? Imagine there's only like 10.
How does a cow live in an office?
I don't know. But yeah, the CEO said that the top gamers can choose to either take the live cow, donate it to charity, or collect their prize as raw meat.
That's fucking horrible.
Why'd
you have to mention that?
But listen, right? Bridget's story seems to have ended happily though, as people that were keeping an eye on it witnessed the cow being driven away in the back of a pickup truck.
That was fucking wild monkey news.
Oh wait, what the fuck? Hold on, right? So I've got OBS open here, and apparently everyone's webcams...
don't tell me how to record.
No, it hasn't. But everyone's webcam's frozen apart from mine. And
is that a cow?
This is so strange. Everyone's webcam's frozen apart from mine. I'm gonna stop the recording, and then I'm gonna close Discord and open it again. Joe, you have a bit of education for me this week.
All right. Well, I have a couple of topics. They're not as well researched as last week, so I apologise to you all for that.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine.
No. Well,
we'll believe you. We'll take your word for it.
I only ever tell the facts, but
hold on a second, Joe. Sorry, I have to stop you. Do the intro.
Educating Connor.
There we go. That was beautiful.
All right. So, you're all familiar with the game Batman: Arkham Asylum?
Yep.
Are you familiar with how it sort of revolutionized, I guess, combat in a third-person
Yeah, well,
kind of
just
game.
just
like that.
I suppose Spider-Man did it best, really.
Which
Mm.
one?
Fluid cinematic combat, I guess.
Yeah, fluid cinematic combat, but but the main thing about Batman was enemies clearly telegraphed when they were going to hit you when you had one button to counter them.
Mm.
Like they had a big like marker above their heads that was like, "I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
you now," and Batman could be like, "No, you're not."
No.
Yeah, and Spider-Man 2 did that like with like Spidey sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did, didn't it?
Yeah,
but Batman made it a lot more
Yeah.
like free
Common.
flowy. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, absolutely. I see what you're saying. Like I'm not like just trying
Okay.
to. Yeah.
And anyway, so bear that in mind, and bear in mind how many games the combat in Arkham Asylum have influenced since. Like so many other games just do it now. It's just like, oh, this game just plays exactly like Arkham Asylum in terms of the combat.
Shadow of War does it as well, but I suppose Shadow of
Yes,
War is
it
also
does.
Warner Brothers.
Here's an interesting fact for you that you might not have known. I only learnt this, I think, yesterday. Did you know that Batman Arkham Asylum was originally going to be a rhythm game?
That's cool.
What? So I was gonna be like, bam, 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 bam.
I think like I've read or like I was taught in uni at some point that like it started off as that type of thing, and that's what like inspired the
The combat.
the fluid combat.
That's
You
Yeah.
get it kind of like a
Um,
rhythm with it, don't you?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I mean,
That's
I don't know how
awesome.
obscure this is, but yeah, it was originally meant to be. I don't know. I think I read it was meant to be originally 2D. I don't know if that was just for the combat, but it was going to go into like a rhythm-based thing, and that influenced how they thought about the combat. It was like, right, it's going to be sort of like you kind of get into a pattern with the button presses when you're in a fight, and yeah, that's how they sort of got to where it was.
Even if you didn't educate Connor, you just educated me. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's not as like much of a story as last week's, but I do have a little bit more educating Connor though on a different topic.
Okay.
Have any of you heard of the elusive Half-Life 2 Episode 4 before?
No.
No.
Are you talking about?
Really?
Is it specifically called Episode 4?
Well, it had a working name which was Return to Ravenholm.
Oh,
All right.
okay. I was gonna say I've heard of. I think it's called Project Borealis before.
No, I think this is a separate thing.
Okay, so allow me to just explain what I mean to anyone who doesn't know what that was. It was essentially like one of the writers of Valve, bit like after he left, he basically like sort of like it was a really big thing. He came out and said this was going to happen in Half-Life 3, and it was called Project Borealis or something like that, and apparently it was going to be set in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Oh,
um,
is that the thing where he give away the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was that thing in Portal 2 as well with that ship in the water, wasn't there? In the icy place.
Yeah. What's his name? Something Cole. It was like one of the because obviously like Aperture and Black Mesa share the same.
Oh,
universe,
do you
though,
mean the
very
guy that
loosely.
owned Aperture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently there was like there's a lot of like really like teasy references to each other. It's like pretty much confirmed that they share a universe, but like I think the events of Portal 2 actually take place like hundreds of years after Half-Life.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. It was So go on, Joe. Go on.
Right, so Half-Life 2 Episode 4, it was meant to be one of like the, episodic release things they were doing after they did Half-Life 2, so they only ever did Episode 1 and 2.
Is this where he plays Father Gregory?
Yeah, he's in it. You actually play as Adrian Shepherd. Alright, so this episode was called Return to Ravensholm, and do you want to hazard a guess as to who was developing it? We've talked about them on this episode.
Hidden Path.
Rebellion.
Any other guesses, Izzy? Got one?
No idea.
Arcane Studios.
Oh.
They were working on this like must have been 2006, 2007. They were working on this, and it was like a spin-off from Half-Life Opposing Force, where if anyone who doesn't know, it was like it took place during the events of the first Half-Life game, but you played as a soldier for the HECU or whatever, Adrian Shepherd.
Is that the one where you're the guy with the green helmet?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Because there's one with the guy with the blue helmet, and one with the guy with the green helmet, and I always get them mixed up.
The blue helmet's Barney, I think, isn't it?
yeah,
And then,
it's Blue Shift. You play as Barney Calhoun, a security guard, and then
Yeah.
Opposing Forces, where you play as one of the soldiers trying to kill Gordon Freeman.
But yeah, it was meant to be like, you know how they were saying that Project Borealis thing, it took a more like survival horror approach to Half-Life.
Yeah.
Well, this was like very much going to continue down this vein.
I mean, like, I feel like that would be really cool. We've sort of already spoken about the immersive sim genre today, but I feel like an immersive sim set in Ravenholm would be really fucking sick.
Yeah, well, basically, the main event of the game involved Adrian Shepard and Father Grigory, and basically they had to, like, I guess, try and fight the way through Ravensholm, I guess. But I'm just reading about some of the functions here. You had a movie projector that would just distract hordes of zombies, and you also, you know how there's like electricity physics in Half-Life.
Yeah.
You know, like how you like the one I'm thinking of is like you
can
fucking
you
plug
can
the
lower the
switch.
cars.
Yeah, and you plug the switch in Half-Life 2, and like the electricity arcs to the socket just before you put it in. Well, that would be a big part of it. You'd use electricity to from like broken power lines to like kill zombies or solve puzzles or whatever. It actually had zombie monkeys in it.
No way.
So yeah. I'll put a picture in chat.
I've actually got a.
Yeah, it had zombie monkeys in it. So this little monkey news.
I've got maybe like a little bit of monkey news for you as well. Then.
Okay.
Are you done with the story? Yeah. Done telling us about.
Have you sent the picture?
Hang on, not yet. I don't have much more to tell you, but yeah, other than basically, it was cancelled pretty late into development, and a lot of people at Arcane were really sad about it because they put a lot of work into it. Yeah.
That sucks.
That sounded like it would have been really sick.
Yeah.
No, I think it sounds really good.
Well, here's a little interesting story for you. Do you guys? So we spoke about Dead Rising pretty recently. Have you guys ever heard of Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop?
No.
That's the Wii release, isn't it?
It's the Wii release, and essentially,
I've heard of it.
Dead Rising was developed on NT framework, I think it's called, the engine, and the Wii at the time was like, the Wii is like not a powerful console at all, and it developing, like trying to port the engine over to the Wii would have been like just stupid. So instead they just stole the engine for Resident Evil 4. So if you actually play Dead Rising on the Wii, it plays exactly like Resident Evil 4. You've got like an inventory system and ammo, and which doesn't happen in Dead Rising, and like Cletus, which is a boss in Dead Rising 1, if you beat him, he actually starts selling you guns in the Wii game because like there needs to be a vendor of some capacity. And there's all like, one of the weird inclusions that I found about that game was that there are zombie parrots and zombie poodles.
That's so cool!
Oh, that'll use the zombie poodle asset from the first game, won't it?
Yeah, it does. I don't know where they got the parrot from, like, but the poodle that you see die.
Cool.
The poodle that you see. Well, actually, no, it doesn't even die. You see.
It's just a zombie poodle, isn't it? It's just there, and it's like, meh.
No, it's just. I'm pretty sure it's just a poodle. But he's just like in a crowd of zombies. None of the zombies are actually paying attention.
Oh yeah, and then the woman's like, "My baby!"
Yeah, and she's the one that like breaks the barricade open.
And there's that old man like, "Yo," like shaking his stick at you.
Yeah, Dr. Barnaby. Yeah, but so yeah, in the Wii version of Dead Rising, not only does it use the Resident Evil 4 engine, but you get harassed by zombie parrots and zombie dogs.
I appreciate that. And Joe's just sent the zombie monkey in chat. It's very important. It's fucking terrifying.
Monkey news.
On the topic of Resident Evil, while that's fresh in our minds, right? Have you read about the Netflix Resident Evil series?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I saw the trailer for it ages ago.
Yeah, it's just had some of its art, a synopsis for it, and a bit more revealed about it.
Ooh, very cool.
they're bringing back the original voice actors.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you
Leo
say
Harvey
original.
Oh, I
playing.
love
It's the
that.
one from
That's
Resident
really
Evil 2.
nice.
The synopsis for it is when biohazards run wild, only a pair of veteran zombie slayers can get the job done.
I hate Netflix descriptions
Yeah.
because they all follow like the same, almost like not conventions, but like they all sound the same.
Mhm.
Like they all just sound like the same sentence. Oh, I can't describe it quite, but like it's almost like they use the same syllables or like da 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 da. Like, oh, it frustrates me. It's like probably one poor guy sat at his laptop like, this is a good one. Bothers me.
I took a picture before and I'm pretty sure I sent it to you guys and it was like sometimes the Netflix descriptions will fuck up and glitch. I took a picture of it was Naruto and it had the description of Narcos and it was like first they got the cocaine, now they want the power, the drug wars are about to begin. And it was like Naruto 4 stars and it was
I love that.
Yeah,
No, there's some really good ones.
So someone else took a photo of it and like they uploaded it and I got like it went viral and I got like loads of likes and I was like, damn, I should have uploaded it because the exact same thing happened to me. I don't know if it was just like Naruto and Narcos like being in the same like alphabetical category that like the description fucked up, but it definitely did happen to me and I remember I sent a photo of Sean before.
Just really quickly about this Resident Evil movie as well. Did you know that it's set in the canon Capcom universe?
Yeah, I can't imagine it would be non-canon. I mean, there are like non-canon Resident Evil films already.
Yeah. So it'll be set like, I think Resident Evil 4. It'll be set around Resident Evil 4.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's meant to be canon, so cool.
Well, if it's describing Leon and Claire as veteran zombie slayers, then it's going to take place after 2, I imagine.
Yeah, it definitely takes place after 2.
Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds great. I can't wait to watch it personally. I really like Resident Evil and I really like anime.
Fucking weeb.
All right, well, if that's everything, unless anyone has anything else to say.
Shall I quickly rattle off some Steam
Oh, yeah,
stuff?
you did, yeah.
Right. So letting off some Steam this week. There's only really 2 big games that have come out. One not too recently, but another one very recently. We've had a game called Loop Hero came out, and it's an indie game. But the premise, it's like a roguelite, but the premise is it's post-apocalypse, like world-ending apocalypse, and all, like you have like a circle, like a randomly generated like circular map that you walk around, and that's it. There's only one road that you can walk around. That's why it's like Loop Hero. And there's a camp, and you start your camp, and every time you do a loop, you gain a bit of health. But every time that you beat a monster on the path, you start remembering like about the old world, and like so you might remember there was a mountain somewhere, and you'll get like a card with a mountain on it, and you'll get to place the mountain in the world, and that'll like when you get a couple mountains, the mountains might stack together and give you extra HP. But also when you put a couple mountains together, it might start spawning harpies, and it just like keeps going and going and going like that until a timer eventually ticks down. So like the end of the world starts to happen again, and you have to either decide to run away and lose 60% of the resources that you've got, or you can try to fight the world-ending boss and take away 100% of everything that you've got. But if you die, you only get 20%. And when you come out as well, when you come out of that, the roguelite element is it's actually a city builder, because you use your resources to rebuild the destroyed world, and that gives you bonuses when you like restart and do it again.
That sounds like a really cool.
I really like that. It's a cool concept. Yeah.
Also, a bit less to talk about the other game, Forza Horizon 4, but it is a big franchise. It's the leading real life car realism car game franchise.
I wouldn't say it's not like a racing sim, but it's an arcade.
No, I mean like real life cars. Like it's the one where all of like the car companies put their cars in.
Yeah, for sure.
Advertise. Yeah.
I remember at
like
one
Fiat
point. I remember at one point it was like. I remember at one point it was PGR. You guys remember I had Project Gotham Racing 3 on the Xbox 360. And I fucking loved it. I have such a secret passion for racing games. I don't talk about them much, but I love racing games.
Yeah, but I could just hop in my car and go race some randos in town. It'd be great.
Yeah, but I don't have that luxury, Izzy, so I need to go vroom vroom with a controller instead.
Did you see there was like a Twitter thing where somebody was like, "Oh, it was like Fiat or something," and they were like, "Oh, why isn't your like I can't find your cars in the Need for Speed franchise games, like in the newest Need for Speed game," and they were like, "Oh, we have our cars over in this game where they don't promote illegal street racing," then with like a smiley face. And Need
Savage!
for Speed Heat responded just saying, "Lol, losers."
I love that. Clapping back on Twitter.
As if you care. It's a fucking video game. Like,
Yeah.
illegal street racing is probably like the least like controversial thing that I can think you can put into a game.
That's what like suburban housewives think that their kids are getting up to in 2003.
Yeah. Yeah, that just reminds me of like I don't let my kids play D&D. It's got Satanism in it.
Keeping on with Steam, we'll expand a bit there. There's a lot of sales on this week, and I thought I'd tell you about some of the best ones. I've also got a sale of the week for the best deal.
Okay.
But on Steam, some of the good sales that you can get right now. The Outer Worlds is on Steam. You remember that old gem?
So what are you doing, by the way? You're like reading like this, like.
I was scratching my sock.
That Worlds is on sale.
Right, so it was $49.99, believe it or not, on Steam. That's pounds, £50 to buy it. It's down to $24.99, so it's a bit more tangible. But you kind of stomach it if you really wanted to play it. Also on Steam, you can get Jedi Fallen Order Deluxe Edition. Which I'm probably guessing that just means that you get some loot boxes with it. That went from $44.99 to $22.49, so it's an alright deal if you want to play it. I think it is a good game if you like Souls-like games or Star Wars. On the Battle.net launcher, World of Warcraft Shadowlands 20% off, and Blizzard never does sales, so that's a good thing to see.
Please come play the game. Oh, we'll lose so many players. Please, we'll give you 20% off. It's the first time we've ever done it, but we'll give you 20% off, please.
And my sale of the week, it's actually a couple games. It's a franchise, right, that you should now have pretty much no excuse to not play. So, Metro Last Light Redux and Metro Redux are now both £2.99 each on Steam.
Oh my god, that's
and
so good.
Metro Exodus went from £34.99 to £11.89. So you can play all of them for less than £20.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, the Metro games are awesome.
Yeah, really good.
I would play them, except I already know what happens in them.
Kind of ruins it a bit.
Yeah, plus if I'm going to play a game like that, I'll play Stalker. Judge, remember we played a bit of I think you were playing on the Ranger difficulty, weren't you?
Yeah, I think Last Light I've completed on Ranger Hardcore, which is the one with like no HUD and everything.
Yeah. And like really extremely limited ammunition.
Yeah, I still didn't struggle that much because I think the enemies take more damage in that mode. So
yeah, it's the same in Stalker. Like in Stalker, the damage is really weird. Like if you pick Master difficulty, like you'll die in a few hits, but enemies will also die in a few hits.
I remember how much of a beast game Stalker was when I was playing it for the first time, and I think it was Clear Skies, and
yeah, pretty cool game.
I think so. No, well, I'll tell you which game it was. It's the one where you're on the van at the start and you fall off the death van because you have the mark on you.
I think that might be Call of Pripyat. I'm not sure because.
But yeah, it sounds like it's probably Call of Pripyat.
Yeah, because yeah, go on.
But yeah, when you find one of the first artifacts in that game, it's probably going to be the one that's in like the mill, the abandoned mill, and it's in like a little grain silo that you can't get into. And I was like, how the hell do you get this? And I didn't know for ages. And what you're actually meant to do is like, because I thought there was some weird way that you'd be able to drop through and go around it and everything, or maybe I just need to come back later. No, all you need to do is you look at it through this tiny gap, and if you shoot it, you can game it to make it like bounce around and ping out the hole so you can grab it.
God, I cannot wait for Stalker 2. I cannot
Is
wait.
that the Xbox
It's
exclusive?
gonna be an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Another
We
reason
love
to
our
like Series X.
exclusives.
Xbox are fucking pulling out all the stops with RPGs. Got State of Decay 3. State of Decay 3. What a
You
fucking
love
game.
State of Decay, don't you?
Oh yeah, man. You only need to watch my Dead Game Society video to just like for me to just gush about that game. It's the zombie apocalypse simulator. Especially for like because I mean like there are a bunch of zombie apocalypse games which are like online based, like DayZ, Miscreated, stuff like that. But like
They're all generic.
yeah, but you get your kicks out of interactions from players in that game. I feel like you don't really like you see zombies as more of an afterthought. Like you are playing the game to interact with bandits. Like
That game that started off with zombies and then got rid of them. I think it was Rust, wasn't it?
Rust and Fortnite.
No, Fortnite didn't have zombies in it.
Yeah,
did
it did.
Yeah,
Fortnite,
but at one
it did.
point, yeah. Fortnite has grown massively from what it is like now. Worded that terribly. It used to be like quite different.
Yeah, no, people just forget that Fortnite was a zombie game, but at one point
Yeah,
it was, and
Like, it wasn't even battle royale
no, it
before.
wasn't. It was a survival.
Yeah,
it was
which
a
is what
survival
everyone
game.
knows it for.
Yeah.
I've just seen an article by for Square Enix, and you've probably already heard about this, but apparently there's a reveal on March the 18th on a stream that they're doing for the
Ooh.
next Life is Strange game.
Oh, they're making another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw what I rolled my eyes because I really don't care about those kind of games. I really don't.
I like Life is Strange. Am I just a little indie guy?
No,
Yeah,
I like
are.
the first one. I didn't finish the second
See,
one.
like I have no problem with the story. The story's fine. What I really have problem with is the fact that in almost every game that I've played like that, it's like your choices matter in this game, except the fucking don't. They don't. Not only do
Yeah,
they,
they don't a lot
not
of the
only do they not matter, but like you also don't really have that much choice.
To be fair, in the second one, your point by point choices don't make a lot of difference, but it actually follows literally every choice that you've made through the game. At multiple points, like small choices, it follows every single one. Like see, because the main premise of the second game is that you're an older brother looking after his younger brother, and you can like determine how the younger brother acts in a lot of situations, and saying stuff that like, because obviously in most games, like if there's an option where you can say something bad to a kid or something good, you know the difference. But like even for me, like I've never been a parent, so I don't know how to parent kids. Like once in the game, he swears, and like you can choose to be like, "Hey, don't swear." But I wasn't like, I'm not bothered. Like I don't care if he swears. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm a 22-year-old lad. Like he can do whatever he wants. So like I let him swear, but like
Did it turn him into an awful child?
well, it turns him into a kid that swears, and it's like that's not a great thing to be happening all the time.
I just mean
But,
like in the first game, I've seen like the most I've got out of the first game is like I watched Ross Scott and my girlfriend play it, and like spoiler alerts for anyone who somehow hasn't played the first chapter of the last what's it? God,
The Last of Us,
yeah,
Life
it's
is
called The
Strange.
Last of Us, yeah, Life is Strange. So you know how like the first time that you rewind time is when Thingamajig's about like
Yeah.
is it Max is about to get shot.
It's before that actually, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, because you do it in the classroom. But yeah, she's about to get shot, and like you absolutely have to fucking rewind time. Like there is no like I'm going to let her get shot or anything.
I think that's just an inciting incident. If that didn't happen, it wouldn't be a game.
Or wouldn't there? I'm pretty sure there could be there'd be plenty of ramifications for a lass getting shot at school.
The whole premise of the game is that Chloe is the girl that gets shot is constantly avoiding fate, and you have to decide whether your friendship trumps fate, or whether or not you want to keep trying, or whether or not you just want to let fate take her. Because every time that you rewind time, worse and worse stuff starts happening. So it's a game about letting go and loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like it even talks about her dad that passed away and shit, and how she has to let go. That's a big theme. That's what the game's about.
Yeah,
Game
I guess, yeah. Life is Strange.
The first one.
Oh right, yeah, the first one's good.
Either way, like obviously I'm not expecting it to be an immersive sim, There we go. Looping the,
Okay.
looping the
That's all we
conversation.
fucking talked about. Like
Yeah.
new vocab.
Looping the conversation.
Word of the week.
Yeah, I'm not,
Genre
I'm not,
week, yeah.
I'm not expecting it to be an immersive sim and like be totally emerging gameplay or anything like that. But there are just like a few times in the game where like
It is a very restrictive game.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I understand your point. Like it wants to tell a story, and you're gonna go on that story.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure game, except like you have to choose out of 3 adventures.
Yeah, but again, like that's kind of what they set out to do, isn't it? So
yeah,
is
like,
that
I
thing?
no, I get it. I get why people like it, and I'm not knocking people who buy the game. If you're into that kind of thing, sure, it's not for me. That's all.
It's
Totally
compelling
fair.
storytelling, but it's not pushing the envelope.
Yeah, I feel like, but you can get much more compelling storytelling in, in other
Yeah,
games where you have
I've-
more player agency.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Life is Strange completely hinges on its writers, and it kind of dropped the ball on the second one. I lost I lost interest on the second chapter of it, and there's 6 chapters of it, and I bought all of them, and I haven't played
Yeah.
them all.
I watched Shay play a bit of Tell Me Why, and I lost interest like 5 minutes in, because it just looked like another Life is Strange. Like I feel like there needs to be some innovations to the gameplay in order for me to be actually interested in games like that.
I feel like as well, it's very much the context of Life is Strange, because it's that 15 to 20-year-old discovering yourself type types of game, where it's like, to all of you, where like everybody's really sad all the time.
Yeah.
And we were obviously younger when the first one came out. Obviously, I do think it was better still, the first one, but it probably won't hit us in the same way, the second one, considering that it hasn't evolved with its player base, seemingly, and it's still going for that theme.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I think that's like a very popular kind of sort of age group and theme to target, which is like it's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Also,
like, you grow out of it for sure.
Also, in the first game, you're playing as a young girl, and in the second one, you're playing as a boy. So obviously, that's going to affect it. Like, I didn't connect with Max obviously as much as a girl would, but like I still understood it.
Yeah.
Well, in the second game, it's all about your little brother more than anything.
Yeah,
It's a tale of 2
That-
brothers.
that's really weird as well, because I thought the second one, you're a boy, which like I'd be able to get more immersed. The boy's called Sean. He gets called Sean by everyone. So like I was like, oh, it should be really immersive. Nah.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because like your dad doesn't die in the first 20 minutes of the game. Like,
No, right, I thought like, oh my god, right? So you start the game and you're like, hey dad, oh give me a hug, dad. Oh I love you, dad. And he's like, here's $50, and you're like, thanks, dad, you're awesome. And then he dies, and it's like, who saw that coming?
yeah,
Breaks my heart.
Love you, dad.
yeah, it's like
Prior
a.
to time.
It's one of those games where it tries to make like serious political commentary about police brutality, because the cop is just like the second you see the cop, you're like, oh no, he's gonna be like a blatant arsehole, and somebody's gonna die as a result of his like mistreatment of minorities. And then it happens, and you're like, oh wow, what impactful political commentary. I'm so glad that this made it into a game.
Oh my god, that just reminded me. In the first episode of the game, I think like probably about 40% of the NPCs that you meet are racist.
Great.
Like, there's the bit at the beginning with the police officer. The kid next door also like calls your brother a name, and that's why you start fighting him. When you go to it's like a service station. There's a family outside, and you can choose to try to beg for food if you want. And the dad's like, ugh, these you know what I mean?
Filthy nincompoops.
Yeah, filthy people. And then you go inside the shop, and the woman's always watching you to make sure you're not stealing, which is obviously
Yeah,
another
it's
racial thing. And then when you go back outside, even if you buy all the food and you don't steal, an old man comes out and he's like, how'd you get all that food?
yeah, it's like, I'm a white guy, I can't really comment on it, but like, fucking hell, we get it. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't need to be the primary focus of your game. Tell a story, for fuck's sake. Like, stop just playing on tropes.
It just made me want to obviously this was the intention, but it just made me want to like punch everybody there. Like, why is everybody here assholes?
Yeah.
Like, obviously that's the point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's trying way too hard to pluck on your heartstrings.
I just felt like nobody was a normal person that I could just talk to.
Yeah,
And like,
exactly.
like to the end of the day, we're kids. Like somebody should have affection for two lost kids.
Absolutely.
Agree.
I'm gonna stop this podcast before I say any more stupid shit. I feel
I sure
like-
you don't want to talk about the Holocaust. I had some juicy topics lined
Ah,
up.
well, you denied it a couple of episodes ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I can't believe you
I mean,
said that.
6 million.
I can't believe you said that. Shut up, Sean.
That is enough of that.
I feel like that statement that I've just said, like right then about the writers of like who even is it that makes Life is Strange?
It's
Don't
Square Enix and Don't Nod, yeah.
Yeah, don't nod. Yeah, I feel like I've just made a controversial statement just by saying, "Oh, we get it. Like racism happens. Please fucking move on already."
No, everybody's already forgot. With those
Connor, you've
comments
just been
I said.
cancelled.
We
Yeah.
get it, you.
God, I'm so racist. God.
Episode 1, let's not say anything cancelable. Episode 6, 6 million.
6 million?
Episode 6, the captions like 6 million question mark. I think not. the hardest hitting conspiracies and why I believe them. Like episode 7's like Joe's like chemtrails. Joe's like educate Connor, you know them flails you see in the sky.
Yeah, like
Chemtrails.
by week 14, we'll just be sat talking about how pigeons are actually just like government drones.
I mean, why do you think they sit on the wires if not to recharge?
I'm stopping the recording right now.
Episode 100 is, to be fair, guys, have you ever seen a woman in real life?
Oh no.
I haven't.
It's through the
Women
computer,
are
so-
video games.
Women and video games. Right. God. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.
Please don't watch this episode.
I sincerely apologize if you've made it this far. I sincerely apologize.
For like 3 hours.
God, I'm not looking forward to editing this. I say I'm not looking forward to it. The editing I do to these episodes are really simple, but at the same time, I'm just not looking forward to looking at the rendering bar move like 1 inch every fucking hour. Because it's like a 4-hour long process.
Take you a while to get all of Joe's racist rant out as well. Like I don't know why you just went into that randomly in the middle, Joe.
I know it's gonna take me so long to edit that out and make it look natural.
Yeah.
What racist rant?
Like you just
Oh,
started
well,
going on about like
you're denying it happened now, but like
Just like Sean's denying the Holocaust.
Sean, you denied the Holocaust in the last episode. Come on, man.
well, we need someone to bring in the views, don't we? I'm like Alex Jones.
Views.
My
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Yeah, we'll be lucky
I'm
if we
kinda
get 20
recorded.
views on this episode, as opposed to the regular 10.
if we get 20 likes on this video, I'll officially
deny the Holocaust.
All right, smash that like button. If we get 20 likes, I'll deny the Holocaust live on air.
I'll go to a police station and I'll like I need to like go somewhere and deny the Holocaust.
Local Tesco.
Yeah,
Just hand out flyers.
Just walk at the Tesco and just shout it from the top of the rooftops.
Oh no, like tap someone on the shoulder, be like, "Oh mate, can you show me where the tomatoes are?" But also, what do you think about the Holocaust? Because like,
It definitely didn't happen.
not sure
Right,
about
we've
that.
said Holocaust quite. We've said Holocaust enough times to get the video like permanently
Demonetized.
yeah, demonetized. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Thanks, John.
Oh my god.
All right,
We're
thank you
gonna
very much. Thank you very much for watching. I'm stopping recording. Bye, everyone. Everyone, wave. Bye.